Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Core Show, episode 69. Today is Monday, January 8th. And yeah, don't yell at me. I'm starting early today. I know that the time says 9 a.m. I get it, but welcome to my world. In the world of the Matt Core Show, you never really know when we're going to start. You never really know when we're going to end. No more of this structured show stuff of here's the exact start time, here's the exact end time. Sometimes there's more things to chat about. Other times there's less things to chat about. Today is one of those days where there's a lot to chat about. If you were sleeping under a rock over this past weekend, you missed a lot of action. This isn't everything, but let me just give you a little taste of what's to come. First of all, Elon Musk being brutally attacked by the media, basically calling him a crackhead, a drug addict. So they're basically, the media is being the media. You're probably, yeah, no, that makes sense because he's basically taking on the media and they don't like his narratives and blah, blah, blah. So the Wall Street Journal came out with effectively a hit piece. So I want to get into that. I want to talk about what it means, what it doesn't mean, and how they're just basically blatantly lying. So we're going to get into that. The other crazy story, and I hope you guys saw this one, was Bill Ackman. So Titan on Wall Street. He is the guy that was somewhat associated with the world of Wall Street saying, hey, University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, MIT, it's pretty bad that your presidents won't condemn the calling of genocide of your Jewish students. Like maybe you should be against that. So he was kind of involved there. So we've talked about him a little bit. But over the weekend, this guy lost his mind. So their Business Insider, the same organization that came after Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports and all that stuff, like no one really like respects him anymore. They came out with an article calling his wife a plagiarist, and she's, I believe, a professor at MIT. She got her PhD or her doctoral thesis back in 2010 from them. And anyway, they came after him. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone more unhinged. This guy is kind of, you're going to hear me refer to this again in the future, probably on this show, but it reminds me of Billions with Bobby Axelrod of like when he's like, what's the point of having fuck you money if you don't say fuck you? You now have a billionaire who's proven himself to be petty and you came after his wife. So he went full guns a-blazing against Business Insider over the weekend, and we're going to be breaking down the whole thing. It is truly wild. And then Dave Portnoy got it, like kind of heard about it, so he's joining up. And then obviously even Elon Musk said something. I would not be surprised. I mean, I know we're only a week into 2024. I would not be surprised if Business Insider is no longer a company by the end of this year. Like it got that out of hand. So very excited to get in that. Also, crazy story related to Pat McAfee. We covered this a little bit, but Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers, obviously the famed quarterback, he comes on the show quite a bit, like once a week. And then something with like him and Jimmy Kimmel were going back and forth. We covered that story last week. Well, apparently it got even more out of hand. And now Pat McAfee, I believe his show is actually suspended from ESPN, which is interesting because it's actually one of ESPN's biggest shows. So I want to get into all of that. And then in the world of pure finance and trading and degeneracy itself, we are within the expected week to hear from the SEC. The SEC, as it relates to the spot Bitcoin ETF, has up until January 10th to respond. Folks, that's this Wednesday. So the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And already this morning, we are seeing a hilarious development with Bitcoin spot ETF pricing wars. So all the big players, ARK, 21 Shares, BlackRock, Bitwise, all these companies keep lowering their prices of the ETF because the other ones are lowering their prices, and they're kind of doing it. It's like it's a race to zero because everyone wants to be the cheapest, because really the company that gets the first biggest influx, there's a very good chance of them being the winner. As in just having more money within their ETF. So even this morning, everyone's just slashing their prices across the board. It is so funny to see play out. So I want to give into that, and I want to give you the update of like where things actually truly stand with respect to the ETF, the approval, and also some interesting implications that this actually will have on Coinbase, the company, the stock. So I want to get into that as well. From there, in terms of like normal market stuff, which is with all this craziness, it's almost hard to believe that there is still crazy normal market stuff going on. We have some important political updates of just what's going on with the government spending, what's going on with our budget. Are we going to shut down again? We have a lot of macroeconomic events this week. We have 2 different inflation reports. We have 2 different bond auctions, and we have 4 different Fed speakers. That's all going down this week. And it's also the start of earnings season. This Friday is the official start of earnings season, which is commonly marked by the reports from big major banks, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Citi, Wells Fargo, BNY Mellon, and then we'll also get the health insurance play BNY Mellon. So there is 2, not just 1, but 2, not all the way up to 3, but not 1, but not 3, but 2 metric fuckloads of news that we have to get into. So I hope everyone's ready. I don't know what's going on. You guys aren't, I guess you guys don't have coffee in your system. I'm the one who's been up since 5:30, just completely chugging coffee, Celsius. That's how I do it in the morning. I just go back and forth. And sometimes when I'm really feeling a bit crazy, I do them both at the same time. I'll just start chugging Celsius and coffee. I'll put it all over my face. That's how I wake up in the morning. So if you guys are at the point in the day where you're like, I'm not really feeling it quite yet, that's my big tip to you. Matt, wick beard. I don't know what that means. You might be saying something negative, but I'm going to take it as a positive. I don't know. Hello, in 10 minutes, you said what CNBC takes 5 hours to spit out. Gary, that's what you pay me the big bucks for. That's what you pay me for the big bucks. And when I say big bucks, I mean your positive enthusiasm when you come in here saying, good morning. So I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, that's because we do it better here. We're not beholden to our pharma Pfizer sponsorships. You meant like John Wick? You know what I need to do? I'm thinking, all right, very quickly, there's 2 personal things that I want to get out of the way before we really get going. In terms of beard talk, should I shave this? Should I make the line a little bit closer to my jawline? Because if I go like this, it looks like a double chin, but I don't really have a double chin. So I think it's like an optical illusion. Does anyone who knows about beards, should I kind of cut it right like that? Does that make sense? No? Is that not the way to do it? This is the first time in my life I've ever really grown out my beard. So I'm looking for beard tips and tricks. No. No, sir, don't do it. It's no strap. Wait, absolutely no neck beards. No, don't take the line to don't do it. I thought this was going to be a smart suggestion, but I'm getting a lot of no's on it. So leave it at the length that it is right here. You should shave everything but that. So only leave this. That's an interesting suggestion. We'll definitely be taking that into account. Okay. 2 fingers wide from that's what I'm saying. Basically clean this up. Imagine if this came up half an inch right here. And kind of did over here. It's a hair lining. Don't push it back. No neck beard. No neck beard. No chin strap. I'm not really sure what you guys. No need. Full stubble or chin strap. I'm very confused on what you guys keep it. No half stubble. All right, I'm not really sure if you guys are telling me to do it or not. So the first personal story, definitely a bust. But the second personal story is what I very quickly want to get into with all of you. So last week, you guys know that I injured myself to kick off the new year squatting, something with my hamstrings and my sacrum. I don't know what it was, but I was basically just doing a warm up on the bar. No weight was on it, just the bar. And I was trying to stretch out my lower hip. I think from sitting all day because of this job, my posture's not the best. And I think it's basically affecting my muscles and also my skeleton. So anyway, I could feel that things were kind of tight. So I just had the bar on my back and I was in the depth of my squat position. I was just kind of holding it, stretching it out. And then I tweaked something. And it was the second worst back pain I've ever been in my life. I literally laid on the gym floor for an hour till I could get back up to my apartment where I took an ice bath. After that, I got heating pads. It became this whole thing. But in the past, whenever I've injured my back doing sports, I realized it's never really a skeletal issue for me, knock on wood. It's been more of a muscle issue. So what I really find like gives me, I guess, not only a bit of healing, but just pain relief is cupping massages. Like, you know, the athletes when it looks like they were in a fight with an octopus. So anyway, it's just called cupping, and they do a suction thing and they just run it with the length of your muscles and you end up feeling better, and you could look into the science of it. But personally, I'm a big fan. So I thought to myself, okay, cool. This is what I need to do. I need to find someone close to me that can do it. The very next day, I found someone. Am I going to sneeze? Anyway, I basically went to her, got stretched out, did all the massage. She even did some acupuncture every single day this last week. And it helped a lot. Like, instead of my pain level being at like a 7 or an 8, that like I would have random spikes up to there, it became like just a dull number 2, where if I just took an Aleve or something, I didn't feel it at all. So it really, truly did help. But then I'm starting to think that this doctor, this massage therapist, this chiropractor, whatever she is, I think she's flirting with me. I ran it by my fiance because I was embarrassed. I was like, hey, fiance, just so you know, there's other people, you know, throwing their hat in the ring for old Matt boy here. This ain't just you anymore. And then I showed her the email. And the email from the massage therapist said, hey, checking in, want to make sure you feel okay. Here's the number and email if you want to schedule another appointment. I don't know about you guys. Sounds a little bit flirty. The number and the email to the office. In my professional career, you just need the email. But to give me the number and the email, checking in to ensure that I'm no longer in, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it. But it has the vibe of hardcore flirting. Like, it even has like the Calendly scheduler thing, like where you could see where they have openings and you could just put your massage time in one of the open available slots. I don't know, man. It feels like I'm flirting with the devil, you know? Feels like there's a little bit of temptation going on. She defo wants to marry you. Fun fact, when I went on Friday, I think they forgot about me. So they start off with acupuncture. And then when they do it, they're like, hey, all your muscles are super tight. And I was like, welcome to my world, babe. And they put all like the weird little acupuncture needles in you. I think they forgot about me because the next thing I knew, I was like asleep. And you know, like sometimes when you're falling asleep, your body does like a random jerk. That happened to me, and like an hour and 15 minutes had passed. And I'm like, what? And she came in, she's like, did you fall asleep? I was like, I think so. And I was like completely disillusioned of what time it was. And I had all these needles in my back and I'm just like jerking around. And I'm pretty sure I just passed out and they forgot that I was in like the corner office getting acupuncture. So that's what happened to me. Just, you know, people flirting with me still, want to know if I'm coming back for another massage. So I want to share that. Those were the two personal stories from over the weekend. The beard question, which I'm still not really sure what I should or shouldn't be doing. And then also the fact that some girls are still finding me hot. So with all that out of the way, I do want to jump into things kind of quickly because I do have other important news to get into, and I have way too many tabs. It's not even this many tabs. I have whole other Chrome pages open of things we need to get into. So let's go through some of the news just so I can actually start closing down some of these tabs. Dow futures fall 200 points after Wall Street snaps 9-week winning streak. Boeing share slide. So we will get into the Boeing story, which if you're long on Boeing right now, I feel bad for you. And obviously we're seeing a little bit of a rally. We're kind of just above, we're in between the high and the low from Friday and just above the close on both the SPY and on the Qs, which we found out from the private stream on the Discord over the weekend that actually has really, really good odds of staying above the close. Now, if you're curious of what I'm talking about, pin to the top of chat in the description of the video, mattcores.locals.com. Sign up for that. Use the code 2024. That will get you premium membership for free, and that's how you get connected to the Discord. You have to be a premium member, but we could talk about that more in a second. Let me do my job right and get you guys set up for the day. Dude, this is already lagging because I have half a gazillion tabs open. Treasury yields are little changed as investors await key economic data, which sets us up for what's going down this week. Just so you know, nothing too crazy today. It all kind of comes later in the week. Wednesday, we had the 10-year note auction. On Thursday, the 30-year bond auction. So 2 auctions this week when it comes to the world of treasuries. We also have 2 inflation reports, Thursday and Friday, CPI and then PPI respectively. And then throughout the week, we also have 4 different Fed members. So 2 treasury auctions, 2 inflation reports, 4 Fed members. Those are all the major macroeconomic events for this particular week. Speaking of the Fed members, Fed pivot will dominate year of rate cuts in turn of global cycle. So if you don't know what's been going on in terms of monetary policy, to get us through the Rona period, the Fed Reserve, it's a non-government, it's actually private. It's not even really the government. It's this private Illuminati-esque entity that decided to print a bunch of money. So when they printed a bunch of money, that sent everything sky high because they were basically putting a bunch of money, like that's where stimulus checks come from, blah, blah, blah. Like the list goes on and on and on. They were printing money like a drunken sailor to the tune of trillions of dollars. Well, when you do this, when you increase the supply of your money, it devalues it. And then that's also how you get inflation. So obviously our inflation started to run rampant when like really it caught up to what's going on in the world. And then the Fed's like, wow, we should probably fight that so we don't get into hyperinflation and even worse, stagflation. So the Fed, instead of keeping us in the state of quantitative easing where the Fed fund rate is at 0, they're like, okay, we need to lessen demand. Lessening demand is how you fight inflation. They did that by giving out stimulus checks, stopping with quantitative easing, going to quantitative tightening, i.e. raising up the Fed fund rate. Basically, they're trying to, instead of making money cheap, they were making money expensive. That's what you do to fight inflation. Now, unfortunately, this isn't a scalpel-esque tool. This is more of like a very, very broad hammer. And hey, you wish we had a better tool, but this is apparently what we have for the way our economy is run. So we were jacking up the Fed fund rate and inflation started to come back down. So in June of 2022, we actually peaked at 9%. And that's important because we should be at 2%. Right now, I want to let you know that we're in the mid 3s. We're still above what we should be at. We're just not going as much. So when you hear Biden say stupid things of like inflation is no longer a problem, bring down your prices. No, that's dumb because every single month we've been going up. We're just going up at less of a velocity now. Instead of skyrocketing up, we're just kind of going up, but like with less velocity. That's the best way to explain it. The metaphor I used in the past is imagine you're driving in the wrong direction at 90 miles per hour. Well, now we're driving in the wrong direction just at 30 miles per hour. So we're still going in the wrong direction, just with less speed. So that's the current situation. And Biden, he'll contort all of this and try to tell you that Bidenomics is working. He's wrong. He's stupid. If you believe it, you might want to believe it, but it's more of not grounded in reasoning or fact. It's just that you probably particularly don't like Trump. Like that's like if you're being honest with it, that's most likely what's going on. There's no economic, mathematical, logical reason for saying that Bidenomics is good because like the numbers are in, folks. We see the way it's going. It's just inherently not true. So that brings us to now. Now that inflation is coming down and they don't want to overdo it. They don't want to overdo it. They don't want to underdo it. It's a Goldilocks situation. So if you underdo it, if the Fed doesn't do enough, then we're going to have a situation like the 1970s where inflation went up, it came down, they underdid it, and inflation spiked back up. That was in the mid 70s. We don't want that again. That's what happens if you underdo it. If you're, I guess, whatever, your porridge is too cold. Now, if you overdo it, you crash the entire economy. You could have a recession. If that gets out of hand, it could go to a depression. So that's going too hot. Then what we're trying to do is kind of thread the eye of the needle, and we want it to be like perfectly right, the perfect temperature where, all right, we do enough to bring it back down, but we don't overdo it, we don't underdo it. That's what they're attempting to pull off. And then that brings into now the current main question of when are we going to start doing the Fed rate cuts? If you do them too early, inflation spikes back up. If you do them too late, recession, depression, economic collapse. So that's the golden question. Right now, depending on what source you use, there's anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 rate cuts expected this year. 6 seems a little much. 3 might be a little bit not enough. type of a deal. And then not only the size of them and how many we're going to have, but more so of the timing. Is the first one going to be in March? A lot of people are going to say we have it before the quarter's out, or is it going to actually be in Q2 of this year? All of these are expectations. And in all reality, we could all have an opinion, but I don't really see the point in making an opinion or a prediction when we all know it's going to be database. So between now and March, we're going to have inflation reports, we're going to have unemployment reports, we're going to have retail sales reports, we're going to have an earnings season. There's so much pivotal information between now and that March decision point that let's just wait. Like why make a prediction when we could just chill out for a second and wait for the information to actually come in? At least that's how I am particularly going to be attacking the situation. Congressional leaders reached $1.59 trillion deal on top-line spending, paved the way for deal to fund the government. Our government, I was making a joke that the Fed spends money like they're drunken sailors, but it's actually the government. I don't necessarily think we have a tax problem in the U.S. I think we have a spending problem. I think very, very much from the poorest people to the richest people that the U.S. government receives enough in taxes. I think all economic breakdowns of our tax situation suggests that. I think the bigger issue is our government spending, and they're the ones truly spending it like drunken sailors. This isn't necessarily a left thing. It's a left and a right thing, because obviously you need some sort of bipartisan agreement to get all these budgets and everything passed. We spend money like no other. And I mean, if you look at just like we pay billions of dollars a day in just the interest on our debt. Billions a day. I mean, right now, we just cost $34 trillion in debt. Our deficit's bad. Our debt is ripping. And then the interest on said debt is billions and billions and billions. It's a clown show. That's who. It's not the Beltway. It's not the swamp. It's a fucking circus. That's what Congress is. That's what Washington, D.C. is. It's a live action, large circus. And the only reason it's not that obvious is because it's geographically too big of an area to get a big red tent over it. Folks, you might want to fact check me on this. I've looked into it. No place in this world do they sell a circus tent large enough to go over DC. But if they did, you could be rest assured that it would be there. You could be rest assured that there would be a giant circus tent, and there would be professional makeup artists every single day. As a politician walks in, they'd put all the white on them. They'd give them a red wig. They'd give them a honky nose. It's just apparently at this point in time, it's not only not possible with the circus tent size that would be required, but also it's apparently just not in our budget to pay for all those makeup artists. But feel free to check me on that one. You know, you could do your own due diligence. Biden and Johnson, two clowns, set for crucial battle over border Ukraine aid. So this is tying back to the budget. Will it get approved? Will it get approved? Obviously, they are diametrically opposed on where the money should go, where it shouldn't go. In all reality, I don't know about you guys, but it feels like Ukraine's been completely forgotten about. Like at one point in time, Ukraine was the thing. And then all of a sudden we had Hamas and Israel. That happened. And then people really forgot about it. I feel like people were already forgetting about Ukraine. And then it really went away with the whole Israel-Hamas thing. And even that is seemingly kind of going away to the point now that I think the average U.S. person is like, oh, I don't really pay attention to either of them. But yeah, no, apparently we're still giving Ukraine money, even though like no one here is talking about it whatsoever. So that's kind of a wild thing. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Beyond that, that's kind of a little bit of a larger picture. As I alluded to before, we are still at the start of earnings season. So yes, there are earnings. Maybe the one you might care about early on is Tilray for all my Jazz Cabbage fans, but really technically earnings season starts this Friday. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, BlackRock, BNY Mellon. Then we also have an airline play, Delta, and a health insurance play, United Health Group. So it gets going Friday before market open. Make sure you're paying attention to that. So even though I'm talking about Delta, there's more of an interesting story developing in the world of air travel. Boeing shares slide 8% in pre-market trading after the FAA grounds dozens of 737 MAX 9s. So I do have the video for you right here. A key piece of Boeing 737 found in hunt for clues on plane blowout. And I'm not talking about a new style of plane where there's a barber, a salon, and everyone gets into the plane and they look ruffled and their hair's not kempt, and then they get off and they look like red carpet ready. No. It's not that type of a blowout. I'm talking about the blowout where like the side of the plane went poof, gone. And yeah, maybe you saw it on Twitter over the weekend, or maybe you were more of a reasonable human being and spent time with your family, friends, and loved ones and just didn't spend literally 24/7 doom scrolling. But I did, so I want to share this with all of you.
Now, the door plug from the Boeing 737 MAX 9 jet, which suffered a fuselage panel blowout, has been found. In a press conference, the US National Transportation Safety Board also said the cockpit voice recorder was unusable.
The circuit breaker for the CVR was not pulled. The maintenance team went out to get it, but it was right at about the 2-hour mark, and it was completely overwritten. At 2 hours, it re-records over it. So we have nothing from the CVR.
Nothing.
Let's go more then from Bloomberg Aviation editor Benedict Carmel. Benny, what else is the safety board saying at this point?
So we had a press conference from the safety board last night. This was the second one, and they're really keeping very close eyes on this. There are crews on the ground, teams investigating the aircraft. As we just heard, the cockpit voice recorder unusable, but frankly, they have so many other things to go by that this is sort of an annoyance, but nothing that should crucially sort of impede the investigation. We have, as you said, now found the door panel, the plug, as it's called. So that will give some vital clues as to what might have happened. Just to recap, this plug came explosively flying out of the left side of the fuselage. This was late on Friday. Nobody was seriously hurt, but again, the NTSB did say in their press conferences just how incredibly lucky everybody was. They released a little bit more detail yesterday on the actual incident, including that the pilot's door, the cockpit door, flew open as pressure rushed out of the aircraft. That gives you a sense of just how violent this reaction was. This is a fortified door that is normally locked. So for that to sort of burst open gives you a sense of what could have gone horribly wrong, and everyone was very lucky that it didn't, and everyone was able to get off this plane alive.
All right, so I'm not the biggest Boeing trader, but if you're curious why it is currently getting absolutely annihilated in pre-market, nice push to the upside, closed at 249 and now it's trading at 232, so down 7% in pre-market trading, just to give you a little bit of info on that. Short sellers see distress emerging in apartments as borrowing costs surge. Short sellers hope to profit from bets against multifamily apartments. These apartments are valued at $67.1 billion, are potentially distressed. So just want to let you know of an interesting development. I'm not the biggest real estate guy. I'm not the biggest REIT guy, but it is always interesting when you see a giant spike in one particular bet and people are saying, hey, just when money becomes more expensive, and that's what's going on. That's what's been going on for the past year. When money becomes more expensive, all these mortgage rates are going up. Really, any interest-bearing product is going to have some sort of impact. This is what happens. When the Fed jacks up the Fed fund rate, money becomes more expensive. All of a sudden, interest payments are going to go higher. Your debt's going to become more expensive. Just all of this goes up, and then it eventually has real-world effects. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. New year, new trader. Maybe. The same old Degen, if I'm going to be completely honest. This is my newsletter. I give this out for free. You don't even have to be a premium member. Every single weekend, for free, this comes to your email inbox. Everyone should sign up for it. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. So you could be a member or you could become a supporter, which is basically a premium member. So member, supporter, even if you do the free thing, just a member, you get this every single weekend for free. But also you could become a supporter, a premium member for free by using the code 2024. So it's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. I break down the previous week, what I'm looking towards in the upcoming week. I give you all the major macroeconomic events. I give you all the upcoming earnings, and then I also particularly highlight the ones that I think you're going to care about. And then I give you the seasonality for every individual trading day of the upcoming week. So for example, today, Monday, January 8th, historically, over the past 25 years, the bulls have won this day 60% of the time. The profit factor is 1.62 and the bias is bullish. And here's a look at the equity curve produced by buying at open, selling at close on the S&P 500 futures market. Obviously a pop, a little bit of neutral, and then recently over the past couple of years, a trend to the upside. So this day does favor the bulls. Now, is that a guarantee? No. It's telling you the bulls have won about 60% of the time, which is better than flipping a coin, but it just gives you a better idea of the headwinds and the tailwinds. Obviously, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I give you every single day. So, hey, it's free. You don't have to do anything. Like, there's no risk to you. And especially like on the top of the fact that you could become a premium supporter for free by using 2024. That is the code for the month of January. This is where you could get the 0DTE trading system every single day. So obviously at the end of the week, I give you a wrap up. So for example, over the past week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it missed, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it missed on Thursday, but that was actually the lowest bet day. Well, 1x multiple, 3x, 2x, 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 2x. So it ended up going 14 for 16 units. Obviously, it wasn't a perfect one. I can't sit here and say it was batting 1,000. It didn't, but also that's not real trading. Very happy that the day it took a loss also happened to be the day that it decided to bet the lowest, which means the system was the least confident with that day, but still confident enough to bet. So overall, currently in the month of January, it is 14 for 16 units. And so if you're interested in this type of stuff in real time, that's exactly what I put in the Discord. Also, I put my personal trades in the Discord. Other traders put their trades in the Discord. They chat throughout the day. There's a gaming channel, a sports gambling channel. We do trading competitions. There's weekend discussions where it's kind of either options teaching, systematic trading teaching. So there's private lectures there every single weekend. So if that's your interest, if that sounds intriguing to you, you have nothing to lose. Use the code 2024. That's a free month. And then I believe within the first month that you'll be able to make enough money to pay for the first year or even multiple years. So truly no risk to you. If you don't make money in the first month, hey, no harm, no foul. You could just cut it and be like, all right, maybe not the service for you. That's completely understandable. I won't hold you to anything. And then I also do chart breakdowns of what I'm looking for at the SPY, the Qs, Bitcoin, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, Microsoft, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, and then also the times my totally real fiance told me to shave my beard, 88. Yeah, clocked in at a pretty high number last week. So chart breakdowns, seasonality, options trades, earnings, macroeconomic, and you could get this thing for completely free. So anyway, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. 5 things to know before that stock market bell goes dingity ding 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 today, Monday, January 8th. A bumpy beginning. Referring to the overall market, right now we're pretty much pinned to the close of Friday, whereas the SPY is slightly above it, the Qs are slightly above it. But if you look at the daily chart, it tells a bit of a different story. Really, thus far in January, kind of just down, lower highs, lower lows, slight downtrend. But to be a bit more optimistic about it, the trend in terms of the EMA cloud, it's still holding. We're pretty much pinned to the 20 EMA right now, decision time. We either push and break above 471 or we potentially fall down to 363, 360 right here. It's more of over the past 3 days range bound. Are we going to break out or are we going to break down? Only time will tell, and it'll most likely be decided by those major macroeconomic events and also the earnings from some of those big players at the end of the week. Boeing woes continues. Obviously, we just covered that. Staving off a shutdown. We talked about that. Congress, Biden, Jordan. Audio Audacity, the largest U.S. radio company, said it plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Ooh, that's not good. 2023 in charts. All right, that doesn't really matter much. I read it. It was kind of boring. Honestly, a little bit boring. And perfect. We still have enough time. As I alluded to at the start of today's show, there was various stories that developed over the weekend that I thought were absolutely fascinating. And this is the first one. I can confidently say, without a doubt, that Elon Musk is being attacked by media, or maybe a better way to say that is the establishment. This was just posted by the Wall Street Journal. And as you're about to find out, it honestly makes me like Elon Musk more, and it kind of makes me want to invest even more in Tesla. Elon Musk has used illegal drugs, worrying leaders at Tesla and SpaceX. Some executives and board members fear the billionaire's use of drugs, including LSD, cocaine, ecstasy, mushrooms, and ketamine, could harm his companies. First of all, sounds like a fun guy. But more importantly, this, as you're very quickly about to find out, is maybe not 100% true, not 100% forthcoming. Elon Musk's drugs use is the latest headache for Tesla's board.
The Wall Street Journal says Elon Musk's drug use is worrying executives and board members at businesses he runs. The Journal cites witnesses saying Musk has used LSD, cocaine, ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms, often at private parties. Musk said in August he had a prescription to use ketamine as an antidepressant. Musk didn't respond to requests for comment.
So he did not respond for requests, but he went very, very public with this whole thing by stating TMZ has vastly higher standards than the Wall Street Journal, actually. So let me tell you actually what the Wall Street Journal said and then what Elon's overall responses were. Elon Musk and his supporters offer several explanations for his contrarian views, unfiltered speech, and provocative antics. They're an expression of his creativity or the result of his mental health challenges or fallout from his stress or sleep deprivation. Now, before we get into the rest of this, I want to make one thing very specifically clear. On an individual level, I understand. Elon Musk might not be your cup of tea. You might find him a bit prickly. You might find him a bit inappropriate. You might not like how he is a contrarian. But if you cannot admit that he is a net good for humanity, you're just being ridiculous. He's leading the EV revolution. He has the Boring Company. He has Neuralink. He has Starlink. He's giving the globe internet. He's doing space travel. In terms of the human species, he is the definition of progress. Now, I get it. You might not like him individually, but if you cannot admit the immense progress and the immense net positive add he is for all of us, you're just being unreasonable at a certain point. Anyway, let's continue. In recent years, some executive and board members at his companies and others close to the billionaire have developed a persistent concern that there is another component driving his behavior, his use of drugs, which you're about to find out was not maybe fully agreed with when they actually talked to board members. And they fear that Tesla and SpaceX chief executives' drugs use could have major consequences, not just for his health, but also the 6 companies and billions in assets he oversees, according to people familiar with Musk and the companies. The world's wealthiest person has used LSD, cocaine, ecstasy, and psychedelic mushrooms, often at private parties around the world where attendees sign non-disclosure agreements or give up their phones to enter. And Musk has previously even smoked jazz cabbage, the old Mary Jane, in public, and has said he has a prescription for the psychedelic like ketamine. Obviously, the first part of that referring to Joe Rogan and the thing that is now a classic internet meme. In 2018, for example, he took multiple tabs of acid at a party he hosted in LA. A party in LA? Color me surprised. The next year, he partied on magic mushrooms at an event in Mexico. In 2021, he took ketamine recreationally with his brother, Kimball Musk, in Miami at a house party during Art Basel. He has even taken illegal drugs with current SpaceX and former Tesla board member Steve Jurvetson. All right, so that's what the Wall Street Journal is reporting on. Now let's see what the internet actually came up with. So if you look at this account, great account, whole Mars catalog, kind of breaking down some of the interesting aspects of it. The one that I found most interesting is Musk did not respond for comment. An attorney for Musk, Alex Spiro, said that Musk is quote unquote regularly and randomly drug tested by SpaceX and has never failed a test. Spiro, who said he represents Tesla, added in response to detailed questions that there are other false facts in the article, but did not detail them. I don't understand why mainstream media believes that they are entitled to a response. If the lawyer doesn't want to respond, if Elon doesn't want to respond, we all know that mainstream media takes whatever you say and they're going to spin it to make you look even worse. So why would you respond right there? They didn't respond. So they assume the lack of response is the admission of guilt. Blows my mind. But anyway, then you had Elon following up. After the one puff on Rogan, I agreed at NASA's request to do 3 years of random drug testing. Not even trace quantities were found of any drugs or alcohol. Wall Street Journal is not fit to line a parrot cage for bird crap. So right there, we have one story from the Wall Street Journal basically making it seem like Elon Musk is a chronic, rampant drug user. But then when you start to actually check the story, the scoreboard of what's actually going on, you're going to realize that ever since the Joe Rogan appearance, where yes, he did smoke the jazz cabbage, all of a sudden NASA's like, hey man, we're going to need you to start doing drug tests. They did it for 3 years and nothing was ever found. So it is kind of interesting. Like, why didn't the Wall Street Journal include that with NASA? And NASA saying, yeah, no, we've never found anything. A little bit interesting, but hang on, it gets even better. I always thought Elon Musk lived in a $50,000 house in Boca Chica, but it turns out he lives rent-free in the heads of mainstream journalists. Obviously, there's always going to be a sense of comedy to all of this, and really the internet did particularly run with this one, but it kind of starts to beg a more serious question. The media is harder on Elon Musk for smoking one puff on Joe Rogan's show 3 years ago than it was on the Biden administration when cocaine was found in the White House. It's a joke, but it's only funny because of how serious that is. So the mainstream media is losing their mind that Elon Musk, how is it possible that a guy who's such a contrarian, a guy who breaks all the rules, is also one of the most influential and the richest person on the planet? They hate it. It drives them crazy. They don't understand because they're not following the rule book that they created, and they get mad whenever you don't follow their rule book. But then this is also just true here. They found cocaine with the Biden administration, and like, yeah, no way we're going to be able to find out who did that. And we forgot about it already. And this, in my mind, just truly shows the biased nature of what mainstream media has become. And it also is just furthering my belief of why mainstream media is dying. I truly, undoubtedly believe that mainstream media is dying. And all of a sudden you have individual people who are garnering fairly their own following because people resonate with them and what they're saying and how they say it. And it's, let's be honest, just more trustworthy. And to wrap this all up, the more X grows, the more frequent media attacks on Elon will happen. Reason, traditional media is a direct competitor to X. To be expected, they will stop at nothing to destroy X, aka Twitter. This is what it is. Yes, maybe they have some personal qualms. Maybe they just don't like how Elon behaves. Maybe they don't like him as a person. But in reality, I think it's just a business decision. And this is for all mainstream media. They realize, think about it. When's the last time you went to mainstream media for a breaking story? I cannot name the last time I was like, oh, let me go see what mainstream media company, whatever, XYZ is saying about this. No, I go to Twitter and I go to the accounts that I trust. And I'm like, all right, are they talking about it? Are they talking about it? That's because if you want breaking news, obviously Twitter is going to be the fastest. And recently we're finding out that obviously if you want accurate news, Twitter, not always accurate. Of course, there's false stories. I'm not here in a la land pretending that it's just like it's always 100% perfect. No, there are aspects of X and Twitter that is accessible. Of course, there's asshats on it. But relative to mainstream media, when they're by definition bought and paid for, of course, that's going to start to resonate with people of why they don't want to be paying attention to mainstream media. And it's going to drive traffic to exact platforms such as Elon Musk's X. So to me, in my mind, this is such an obvious attack to try to discredit what he is associated with to basically save their own bottom line. And you can believe me, you don't have to believe me, but if you look at the ratings, if you look at the revenue dollars, if you look at any important financial metric related to mainstream media, it is just withering away on the vine. And then there's other independent-esque forms of media, really social media, that are continuing to take off. So am I surprised that Elon Musk is being attacked? No. Do I think that this will continue? Without a doubt. And in reality, I think we all have to just do like 10 seconds of due diligence to realize really what game is being played, to realize that there's a high probability, we can't say this certainly, but a high probability that what the mainstream media is doing is protecting their own bottom line, and they'll try to take down Elon Musk in the interim just to basically keep lining their own pockets. A little bit later, we have some crypto news that I want to go over. How much time do we have till the market opens? I don't know. I guess so. The other major things I want to get into are the crypto news, because we have some pretty interesting news related to the Bitcoin spot ETF and the pricing wars that are going on literally as we speak this morning, which are hilarious. Everyone's trying to undercut the other person, which just makes it so freaking funny. And then also I want to get into the insane story. So you might have thought that the whole Elon Musk media was, oh, that's obviously bad. Mainstream media is messed up. You haven't seen anything yet if you haven't heard of the Bill Ackman story from over the weekend. Bill Ackman, the CEO, he might even be the CIO, I don't know, but he's the founder and the CEO of Pershing Square. He has a wife, Neri Oxman, I believe her name is. And apparently she's very smart. She's achieved quite a bit in the world of, I believe, 3D design. She got her PhD from MIT. She's a smart cookie. I guess Business Insider started coming after her over the weekend, or right when the week was concluding. And this dude went scorched earth. He went absolutely scorched earth. So if you've seen anything about that story, you know what I'm talking about. You know it's hilarious. And if you don't know anything about that story, I will be covering it probably at this point after market opens, because it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's so freaking funny. Is there actually, how can I bring this up? Okay, maybe we'll do the Bitcoin thing now, and then we'll do the Bill Ackman story right after the market opens. So let's talk about crypto. We got big news, not only in the world of crypto, but specifically Bitcoin, and more specifically, the spot Bitcoin ETF, and some crazy updates. So just so you know, at the point that I'm filming this, Bitcoin's looking good. Not only did it have its breakout fake out, which led to a real breakout, then we had some volatility when there was that weird report from Matrixport of like, it's not going to get approved, but then people realized that it was BS, so it saved itself at the trend line, and now we're looking strong at 45,000, looking for what I'm looking for in the short term, and I'm not really an active trader of Bitcoin, but what I'm looking for is that test of the $48,000 to $50,000 level. 48,000 key technical level, 50,000 a key psychological level. So that's what I want to see. But overall, we're seeing higher highs, higher lows. The bulls are very evidently in control at this moment in time. As of now, crypto as a whole is worth 1.66 trillion, and Bitcoin itself is worth 882 billion, on its way to once again reclaiming $1 trillion market cap. Very excited. So you might be thinking, what's the big news? What's the big hubbub? You've probably heard about the spot Bitcoin ETF. And yes, people are rightfully excited for that, because upon approval, then when you get regulatory clarity, and then from there, that allows more money to go into the particular asset class. And we know that supply is going to stay the same. It's never going to go above 21 million. So when demand increases and supply is capped, price has to go up. So this is setting up a very interesting situation of who's going to be the leader. Who within Wall Street is going to be leading the Bitcoin ETF? Who is going to get the most money? And also, what are the implications going to be for the APs, the authorized participants, such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, but then also the custodian, Coinbase. And this is something that I don't really see many people talking about, but the way we're seeing the ETF pricing wars play out, there could be, at least in the short term, some adverse, some negative, some bearish impacts on Coinbase. So I just want to share this with all of you. So just hear me out for a second. So early this morning, to kick off the week, and remember, we are supposed to hear from the SEC, Gary Gensler, about what is going on. Is it approved? Is it denied? By January 10th, this Wednesday. So that's exciting, because we only have a couple days till that actually plays out. And then this Friday, we're going to hear from BlackRock with their earnings. So that's going to be 2 days after. And I'm assuming by then they'll have a lot of commentary on the approval and or potential denial. Before we keep going, I just want to let you know that I think there's a very high chance that a swath of these spot Bitcoin ETFs are all approved at once. I think there's a very high chance of that. But anyway, here's the latest news. Dang. The fee for BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF will be 0.3% as per their just filed S1. This is much cheaper than predicted. Life just got a lot tougher for everyone else. The ETF Terradome is no joke, and they are throwing it down like it is a serious Terradome. So that came out. Everyone's like, okay, where's BlackRock coming in? Are they going to be expensive? Are they going to be cheap? This is definitely on the cheap side, but the story did not end there. I spoke too soon. Low water mark. ARK and 21 shares are going to 0.25 and no fee for the first 6 months or until $1 billion in assets. So this is just the actual S1 filing from both ARK and 21. So basically, BlackRock came in and said, hey, we're going to be cheap. And then these companies saw them, they're like, no, we're going to be even cheaper. Everyone is just vying for that number one spot of why you should put your money with them and not elsewhere. And obviously, one way you could do that is entice potential investors by giving them the cheapest fees. So no fees for the first 6 months or until $1 billion in assets. And after that, it only goes up to 0.25, but no, did not stop there. Van Eck is in at 0.25 in 1 hot minute. Fidelity's 0.39, which when we were all concluding last week's of trading, that was the best one. but now all of a sudden it's all gone upside down. In one hot minute, Fidelity's 0.39 went from wow, cheapest in the group, to mid. Although Fidelity has a distribution capability that many others don't, it's just a lot of people keep their money on Fidelity. So 0.39, now it was one of the cheapest to now it's mid-tier. And actually, as of this morning, Grayscale is actually the highest, I believe, at 1.5%, but it didn't even stop there. This all played out this morning. Just in, Bitwise Bitcoin ETF filing new at the lows of 0.24. They saw people coming in at 0.25, so they're like, we'll come in at 0.24 and then waive all fees for the first 6 months. So not only is it the cheapest, but it's doing the first free 6 months, and it's not even doing the $1 billion cutoff. So the other ones probably are going to get $1 billion before the 6 months, so it'll jump up first. So as of now, and this could change very, very rapidly, Bitwise is making the cheapest appeal to potential investors of saying, hey, you're not going to really have to pay much at all. And it's just, this literally all played out this morning. It costs less to hold a Bitcoin ETF for a year than a single trade on Coinbase. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, that I don't see many people talking about, but how these pricing wars are playing out, of how in the short term, there could actually be adverse impacts on Coinbase, who is obviously the most popular US crypto exchange and also is going to be the custodian for almost all of these sponsors / issuers of the spot Bitcoin ETF. But anyway, when we're talking about price and the easiest, most reasonable way to get yourself some Bitcoin, it costs less to hold a Bitcoin ETF for a year than a single trade on Coinbase. 40 to 60 bips versus 25 bips for a retail size trader. The ETF Terradome has arrived. And then Eric, who's a well-respected ETF expert from Bloomberg, will be interesting to see if crypto exchanges respond with their own fee cuts before it's too late. So right now, the way this all rapidly played out this morning, things got very, very cheap. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm very interested to see what Coinbase decides to do with their fees to entice people to keep trading on their platform. So that'll be interesting. But one important caveat, just before we wrap this all up, please understand that if you own Bitcoin via an ETF, you don't actually own Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your coin. For example, these spot gold ETFs, you own the ETF, but it's a depository receipt. And then the company, the issuer, they go out and they buy it. So it's backed appropriately, but you're not actually the owner of the gold. You're the owner of the ETF. And that will be true also in the Bitcoin case. So for me, I'm not buying the ETF. If I want Bitcoin, I'm just going to go buy Bitcoin, but that's because I have my own wallets. I'm familiar enough with the tech ecosystem to make it easy and safe. But I just want to let everyone know that if you own the ETF, you're the owner of an ETF, which happens to own Bitcoin. So there's a layer in between you. And it is an important concept in the world of crypto of not your keys, not your coin. So I just want to share that with all of you, that they're not exactly the same thing. Owning your own Bitcoin when you have access to it is a bit different than owning an ETF that owns the Bitcoin. So just want to share that with all of you. But as of now, this week is obviously starting to look like it's going to be an immensely volatile, exciting, hopefully bullish week in the world of crypto, more specifically Bitcoin. And I'm sure in the near future, we're going to have even more breaking news. Hopefully, fingers crossed, on the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF. So that's what's going on in the world of crypto. Here's what's going on in the world of markets. We're looking a little bit green, opening above the close on both the SPY and the Qs. We have about 7 minutes. So this is, nope, I don't want to add an emote. I want to add a poll. Start a poll. Market at open. Are you guys bullish or are you guys bearish? All right, putting up the poll right now. Cast your vote, cast your vote. Cast your vote. All right, we have that all set up. I want to make sure that I am set up for my accounts. Theoretically, I should be. All right. Yes, all of my futures prop accounts are ready to go. 3 of them are already good. Oh, you guys cannot see this. So 3 of my accounts are good, 53, 53, 53, which means in terms of passing the test, I've already hit the profit point. I just need to now trade enough days that like I officially pass the test. So the profit's there. I just need to trade more days. And I think I think I need 2 or 3, and then I should be good. And then all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The bottom 8 are more so for me to try to get those. Like I just got them last week and trying to pass the test on all of those. So if it happens, if I knock out all of these, I should have 11 actual PA accounts. So as of now, I'm attempting to pass the test. They are all sim, and then as soon as I do, which 3 of them are pretty much done, then they'll go over to PA, and that's the point where we're starting to talk about real money. So if you're interested, I'm doing this on Ninja, but the prop account I'm using is through Apex. So basically Apex is connected to Ninja. That's all in the description of the video if you want to do this. I like trading it because basically I don't have to risk my own money. I just have to risk the fee of taking the test, which is far, far, far less than funding my own account. So obviously the world of trading is commonly just risk aversion, and that's what I'm attempting to do. Nvidia is actually looking pretty good this morning. All right, let's see how things are shaping up. All right, we'll leave Bitcoin right here for now. Dude, just cruising. Maybe we'll go to the 30-minute on Bitcoin. Yeah, I'll leave Bitcoin in the bottom right just in case there's ever craziness. Actually, we're seeing Solana with a nice... Solana up 5.9%, almost 6%. You have ETH that's looking pretty solid too. Even Microsoft is now coming back. That's good. I didn't like it when it was sub 370, and we're now trying to fight back up at that level. Nvidia's looking good. Looks like it almost wants to retest 500. Netflix a little bit flat this morning. Tesla, I do in the short term want to give you a bit of a warning on Tesla, just because if you look at the daily chart, not only did it break below its EMA cloud, it broke below the 48 EMA, and then it's also below this trend line. So there's quite a bit of, in the short term, price action weakness in Tesla. So be careful. I definitely personally would not be the person attempting to catch a falling knife until I see the bulls start to return to that particular party. So just want to share that with all of you. SPY kind of flat. Q's a little bit weaker, but maybe bouncing off this 35 EMA. Time will tell. You guys are all voting. I leave for a couple weeks and Matt decides to age 10 years. Dude, it's the beard. It's the beard. Makes me look more mature. Makes me look more reasonable, you know? Demerit accepted, but it was the end of the year and I was very busy at work. Matt, word of the day. What is the word of the day? Let's bring it up. We might as well teach you guys something. Word of the day. Tenacious, persistent, and determined. The tenacious entrepreneur refused to give up on his business despite several setbacks. Speaking of tenacious, do you know how many times, what's his name? What's the CEO or the ex-CEO's name of Starbucks? Is it Steve something? Whatever it is. The guy who made Starbucks. Do you know how many times he was denied from getting his initial business loan? It was like 191, 192 times. Dude, if I got denied 190 plus times from anything in my life, I would 100% quit. That's the definition of tenacious. He applied for the business loan over 190 freaking times. Howard Schultz. Yeah, I appreciate that. I forgot. Hey, I forgot. Blows my mind. LOL. Another WAD, the Wheel of Destiny. I could give you guys the WAD if you guys want to know if it's bullish. You guys are voting bullish for open, but let's see what the day is actually going to be. It agrees. The wheel is guaranteed us bullish right there. You could see it. So yeah, no, bullish guaranteed. Definitely bet all your money on it. Bet more. Go get a loan. Go take out a loan in your kids' names, your parents' name. Bet the farm. Bet your neighbor's farm. Bet everything. Literally everything, and then more. Leverage. Guaranteed a bullish day. Speaking of beard again, you want the bottom edge of your beard at the top of your Matt's apple when looking straight ahead. Oh, I think by pure luck, I'm kind of there. Oh, shoot. All right. Well, let's get ready. The market is about to open, which means it's time for me to try to trade across these, I guess, 11 accounts. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Let's see. 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 All right. Okay. Okay. What time is it? All right. The market is opening in 20 seconds. 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds. Let's see. Let's get going. Let's get going. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Bada bing, bada boom. You guys are geniuses. 1.1K, 1.2K. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. Easy. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys, sometimes I'm in here doubting you. I get it. Sometimes I'm in here doubting you. I'm like, do they know what they're talking about? Do they not know what they're talking about? But that took about half a second to make over $1,000. So I'm just going to say thank you. I truly, truly appreciate it. The old donation of the Matt Core is fun, The old donation, 96. Let's make 96 the lead account. 96. So 70, 71, 72 I could turn off. 70, 71, 72 I've turned off because they're above 53K. So 96 down to 89. So 96. I need 96. 96 is now the lead account. All right, cool beans. What just happened?
Order submitted.
I think I messed up, but I think I should still be good.
Order canceled.
All right. So I traded there on the other 8 accounts, 340, 340, 320, 325, 310, 310, 295, 285. Good. Climbing slowly but surely. And I just need to do one more trade here, and then I'll be done with these accounts for the day. So I didn't trade on those first 3 accounts because there's no advantage for me making more money because I'm already past it. I'm past the 3K profit to pass the test anyway. But these bottom ones, there's very much an advantage for me making more money because I need to run those all the way up to 53K. So that's why I will be doing one more trade today. One more trade, and then we can see how much money it made. That's always the fun part, But what I will be doing is, let's let this, I guess, kind of settle out for a little bit. I just want to see what's going on. So let's just give it a minute or two to breathe. The Qs are looking good. The SPY's looking good. Bitcoin's holding above 45K. What else is moving? What's moving like crazy? Solana is moving like crazy. NVIDIA might be going for 500 this morning. NVIDIA. Meta was looking good. Amazon was teetering on the edge of breakdown. AMC hit a new all-time low last week. Netflix was also looking good. Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Netflix were all looking pretty good in my book. Apple was looking particularly weak. And now we actually have Coin going up 3% as well. Interesting. So Coin and NVIDIA are having pretty good days. Tesla getting hit a little bit, probably because the boomer investors are believing the Wall Street Journal. Actually, that's an interesting question. Out of all mainstream media sources, which one do you trust the most? If you had to trust one, which one is it? Is it CNN? Is it Fox? Is it MSNBC? Is it the Wall Street Journal? Is it Bloomberg? Is it Business Insider? Who is it? I'm in the UK, so BBC, the Matt Kors Network, 0, none. TMZ, interesting. Instagram, Barron's, Fox, all are the same. Al Jazeera, NPR, Kramer, the Matt Kors Show, Fox. I only trust The View. That's a good point. No one's ever been able to show that The View's been wrong. I think Bloomberg is pretty legitimate. Maybe I'm wrong on stating this, but I can't really name off the top of my head has Bloomberg gotten things egregiously wrong? Like they might have, but I just can't seem to name one off the top of my head. You can find out what side political scale of all mainstream media. My mom, Alex Jones, flipping a coin. Trust nobody. That's fair. I don't even trust myself. Basically just CNN. Bloomberg? So I think what I like about Bloomberg is the fact that they don't really seem to get in like to political things. They seem to attempt to report finance news, unlike Business Insider, which they just let anything rip over there. Anything rip over there. All right, time for the final trade. Time for the final trade. 48. Buy.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Done. Read them and weep. 485, 45, 470, 470, 455, 455, 440, 430. So that's 3.2K, 3.5K. And then we'll add this up. So about 4K. I don't know. I don't feel like doing all the exact math, but about 4K in the first 5 minutes. So not going to complain about that whatsoever. In fact, that's enough money. Dude, why would I change it? No, let's shut it down. Why am I going to risk that? That was the easiest fucking 4K of my entire life. Nah, we've probably made easier money on this show. But you get the point. That it was relatively easy. If you're at all curious of like what I'm actually doing, it is here. I could get it up there for you. Where's Apex? Where's my link? It's in the description of the video under my trading tools, but I'm trading on a prop account. So basically that means you're trading with other people's money. If you use the code TPBMGLUS, you could get up to 71% off. There are various account sizes. I like the 50K account. That's just a personal decision. Do what's best for you. But you have to pass a challenge. You have to make $3,000 in profit without suffering a trailing threshold drawdown of 2.5K. If you're able to make 3K in profit without a 2.5K drawdown, that's how you actually get funded. And then you can start to trade. And of course, there's still rules, but it's not the easiest test to pass. Like I've probably failed over 100 tests because I do this stuff all the time. It's not an easy test to pass, but obviously that makes sense because you're trading with other people's money. So they want you to be pretty conservative. But as soon as you pass it, then you have a PA account, a performance account, and that's when you can actually make real money. So if you trade well enough, you can actually request money out of the account and then it hits your bank account. So you pass the test, then you go to PA, and then if your account lives for 3 months in PA, then it goes over to like a full-fledged account, and then there's no longer a cap on how much money you can take off. For those 3 months when you're a PA account, you can do 2 withdrawals on this account of 2K each. So you could take out 4K a month per account. And then there's no upper limit when you have after 3 months. From there, you could do whatever. And obviously, they make money off fees. And then they also make money off the fact that after your first $25,000, as soon as you take $25,000 out, from that point on, it's a 90-10 split. You keep 90% of the money, they keep 10% of the money. So they obviously want good traders because the more you trade well, the more money that they make as well. So anyway, check it out, Apex. It's in the description of the video. It's under my trading tools if you're curious. Speaking of tools, and I'm not talking about myself, so don't try to be the funny guy in chat and make fun of me. Let's see what's going on in the world of options. Opening up, the options market was pretty bullish. Hang on. Let me see something here. All right, I want to try one somewhat degenerate trade. Over the weekend in the Discord, we were kind of talking about the probabilities of when you gap up, when you gap down, reversals, not reversals, fake outs, that type of a thing. And there was some interesting math in it for sure. If you were in the Discord and you missed the lecture yesterday, out of all the lectures, I highly implore you to check that one out. It'll be loaded up today. And if you're not in the Discord, you could sign up and you could also get it. All of them are recorded and posted later the very next day. So just want to let you know that should be going up should be going up. Any hopes for Rumble stock? I have a lot of hope for Rumble stock. I don't actively trade it. I'm invested in it. I have a multi-year outlook of what's going on. I'm well aware that it's like viciously beaten down right now, but also it takes time. Like, I'm not in it for like it to explode in a week or a month. I'm in it to see how things play out, because it's still on my generic thesis of people are no longer trusting mainstream media, and they're no longer trusting big tech. So I think that means that Rumble is well positioned to take advantage of it, and that's what I plan on doing. It might be wrong. Are you sick again? I don't feel sick. I don't know. Are my sinuses just messed up because I was playing with Piper this morning? I didn't take my Zyrtec. I'm starting to not believe in antihistamines. Wish you would educate us in what you are seeing in these early trades. That's exactly what the Discord's for. We literally sit after the stream. I sit in the Discord and we talk our trades literally all day long. And you could get in there, and you could get in for free. It's not like I put up some giant paywall that you have to pay thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars to be able to trade with the community. It's free. Use the code 2024 and you're in for free. Dear November 2023 me, don't buy NVIDIA 425 puts. Okay, bye. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. By the show of hands, please raise your digital hand. How many of you guys were here for the debate on Saturday? We kind of did like an off show thing where we listened to a debate between Alex Jones and Destiny about January 6th. How many of you guys were here for that? How many of you guys hung out here on Saturday night? I'm asking because, oddly enough, that was a bigger show than literally all of my finance shows. And as we look forward to a new year, it's obviously like on whatever, like big transitions like this, when you go from a new year, like from one year to a new year, that you start to be like, okay, like what's working, what's not working. And I guess, I don't know, the fact that it got so much interest and intrigue. Do you guys want me to do more of that type of stuff? Like, obviously I'm still going to do the finance show, but like, do you want me to do more of those specialty one-off streams? Like when there's a big event, whether it's like, I don't know, political, some sort of sports related thing, something like that. Do you guys like that? Yes, no? Don't mix your finance with politics, but you can't not do that. That like it's actually impossible. You cannot appropriately speak about the world of finance and the economy without talking about politics. Like they're intimately intertwined. So you have to be knowledgeable about those. You need to get Cat Williams on your show. Dude, I forgot about that, but I saw he went crazy. What was it on, like Shannon Sharp's show? Like he started to pop off. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't think myself, I would get political because, like, I don't know. I'm more so interested in hearing both sides. I don't like this concept of, like, hiding away from politics. I think it's develop a well-stated, well-articulated opinion for whatever your beliefs are. I don't think, like, hiding from it. 340Ks, you can raise some serious awareness. I wish. Used to have more. If you have to ask, you know the answer is yes. Well, I wanted to ask you guys because I view this as long as it's not a TTG live stream. Oh, man. That was funny. Kevin, that was funny, man. We want you to bring Alex Jones on in the morning and talk about globalists. I don't know if that will happen just because, like, in terms of who he is, he's considerably larger than I am. Like, I don't think he would have any interest on going on my show ever. But, I mean, it would be entertaining for sure. I mean, I'm not saying how you should believe about the guy, but it would definitely get clicks. It would definitely get some clicks. Matt, I love all your content and commentary. I love live chatting in the community. So yes, please. I mean, that's kind of how I view this. It's like sometimes the market's boring and sometimes like you need other things to chat about, get other opinions. Like I like to learn how other people view situations. Like for example, we talked about Elon and that. Some people are going to agree with me, other people won't. But the point of the community isn't necessarily just to have like the same cookie cutter cutout of like we all think the same. No, I like to learn from other people's opinions. Like that, I don't know, I feel like that's how you progress as a person. But I understand also when it gets into the world of politics, things get like a little bit more tense. But also we're getting into a political year, and obviously it's going to have a huge impact on the economy and thus the stock market and obviously individual sectors. But I don't know. I appreciate the feedback. Just say frogs are gay. Where do I join the Discord inside Locals? So as soon as you sign up and become a supporter, which you can become a supporter for free, right here. There's a giant Goonie Discord button right here. You just click on this. You click right on the right side. Clickety, click, 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 clickety, click, click, click. How would it look from your view? Yep. Right here, Goonie Discord, giant button. Well, bam. But you make sure you're a supporter. You have to upgrade from a member, and you can do that by using the code 2024. Market is taken off. I am waiting for 10 a.m. to do. Actually, if you join quickly, I could. I'm gonna have to process some stuff in the background, so you could be in today. But I'll do it right after the stream. But around 10 a.m., I'm gonna post some of those trades in. Did you and TTG have a fallout? I'm just kind of doing my own thing. I'm on my phone. That giant button ain't there. Oh, okay. No, Delee Crypto. I appreciate you. Okay. So what I'll do is for people who are on mobile, I'll put a new message there that's permanently pinned to the top. So it's like always right on top. I didn't realize that that wasn't available on, when you're viewing on mobile. So my apologies for that. Here, I'll write that down on my to-do list to fix that today. Discord link. See, that's people helping people right there. People helping people. NVIDIA, a new high. NVIDIA is exploding. New all-time high, ripped above 505, which was the previous high. Now clocking in at almost 510. How many of you are degenerately trading NVIDIA right now? Hey, when's the last time you talked to George from Cryptos R Us? We text and call each other commonly. I'm a big fan of George. I don't know. I guess I know, obviously, there hasn't been much public-facing stuff going on with George, but I like to think of us as buddies. I don't know if he thinks of me as a buddy, but I really enjoy him. We talk commonly. I enjoy our chit-chats, but it'd break my heart if he thought we weren't buddies. Where do you get the Wall Street music clip from? Is that from an actual song? No, it's from a soundboard that I have. The soundboard is called My Instance, INSTANTS, myinstance.com. And the soundboard the sound that everyone's referring to is this.
Wall Street, 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 Wall Street. Now my stock rising, got the eyes on me. Wall Street.
So that's on myinstance.com. That's my soundboard, and it's called Wall Streeter 1-Stock Rising. If you're looking for it. Maybe interview him again. Yeah, I definitely could. I always like talking with him. He's a cool dude. Matt, if people can already purchase BTC, what will the ETF help? Also, wouldn't the ETF be the same as buying Bitcoin on Robinhood? So a lot of people don't want to go create an account on Coinbase. Like, think about all the money in, like, especially the boomer category, where they're just already on like Fidelity or some sort of like Charles Schwab, like retirement account. Those people currently do not have access to it because they don't want to go out and make a Coinbase account. So that's what, like, it opens up really is a ton of money, not only in retirement accounts, which right now these tax advantage retirement accounts are to the tune of about, I don't know, $12 trillion in the US, but then also active money managers. Active money managers right now cannot get into the world of crypto because there aren't ETFs and there isn't SEC clarity, which that's another about 30 trillion. So right now, and I'm in no way saying that every single dollar will go into Bitcoin or go into crypto, but with the ETF approval, it opens up the door for $40 trillion. I'm saying trillion with a T, $40 trillion to get access to Bitcoin if they want it. Anyone else getting ads every 5 minutes? You shouldn't be getting, I think it's set to every 30 minutes. You're getting ads every 5 minutes? No, that is not right. How do I fix this? Edit, monetization. Yeah, it says estimated frequency every 30 minutes. Why is it, dude? Why? All right, I'm just going to turn it off. My apology. I don't know why they mess this up all the fucking time. Okay, wait. What if I do? All right, I changed one of the settings where it's not staggered per viewer. It's just going to be all at once. Let me know the next time one runs. So right now it's 9:50 in the morning. Ads will run shortly for some viewers. No, let's skip that one. All right. The next time that it runs, can you guys let me know? Because I don't know. They had an issue in November, and then they said they were fixing it, and they said it would be fixed by January. We're in January now, and apparently it's not fixed. So I might just go back to turning them off because I don't make much money off ads, so it doesn't really matter. Can I only watch ads? Yeah, we could actually. We could try to fix that. So yeah, let me know the next one that it runs. But Nvidia clocking in. Coin actually now just went red, interestingly enough. But dude, Nvidia, the semiconductor industry has been no joke. No joke. The NFL game are all as now. Did you guys watch the Golden Globes last night? Similar to the NFL, every single opportunity they had to cut to Taylor Swift, the Golden Globes did. Which is, I guess she's just that influential of a character that it's just a business decision that like whenever she does anything, you have to just like watch her. Can we subscribe to your only ads account? I don't know if I want. All right, I'm going to show you guys something. I wasn't going to do this, but honestly, this feels like the perfect time to do it. Where is it? My producer knows what's coming. We were going to. Where is it? Media. Is it in here? Let me find it. Hang on 1 second. Let me make sure I found the right ad. All right. Do you want to see an ad that we made for the Discord? Because the answer is you're watching it like right now. All right. So out of everything, this is so wild. I can't believe I'm showing you this. All right. Let me bring up the downloads. This is our new ad. A new ad that I just had to film. Kind of loud. All right. Shout out to the advertiser of today's stream. That's it. That was our idea on how to pitch the Discord. So I think you guys got all the information you need. So if you're a person who's interested in signing up and you don't sign up after that, I don't know how else to pitch it. That's how we do it. That was our grand attempt at creating an ad. And I think, honestly, I'm happy with how it came out. Oh, we need more friends. How many outtakes for that piece of art? That was made in one shot. That masterpiece was made in one shot. I think we're going to do a bit of probably tweaking to it, but that was ad iteration 1. You just got a like for me, nice ad. AMC is going to melt your face, Matt. I hope you have shares. No, it's not. No, it's not. Is this a hair removal discount? Don't be jealous of my chest hair. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing your jealousy, you know? It's embarrassing how jealous you're getting of all my chest hair. Oh, yeah. An influencer email. SPY going a bit sideways right now. Let's check in. The 5, the 10, and the 30 favoring the bulls. I like that. Let's switch it up to the Qs, which are not here, so I have to load it. Let's see how the tech sector's doing. All right, the 5, the 10, the 30, even more bullish than the S&P 500, probably being led by NVIDIA right now. 5, 10, 30, bullish, daily bullish as well. 5, 10, 30, and daily all bullish as well. So the SPY and the Qs, in terms of price action, the EMAs being favored by the bulls as we speak. Let me check the market internals for you. The market internals, that is bullish. Neutral leaning bullish. Neutral bullish. So looking at 3 different market internals, neutral leaning bullish, none of them bearish. So price action bullish, internals neutral leaning bullish, seasonality bullish. So right now the bulls are in control. Without a doubt, I don't really see how at this moment in time on the short time frame that you could be bearish. I don't see how you could. But hey, that's just one degenerate trader's opinion. Did you shave Piper and glue that hair on your chest? How did you know? Who told you? Who's your inside source? Who's your inside source? All right. 15. Okay. Okie dokies. Okie dokies. All right, I'm putting the signals in the old Discord right now. Trading chat. Strength. All right, QQQ. All right, it should all be a multiplier. All right, the signals in there, the 3 or 2 0DT callouts were there. The only other thing I have to do is screenshot my own position, and I'm done for the day. My positions are in. I did all the degenerate market open trades. On the futures accounts, the prop accounts made about 4K there, I want to say, if I'm remembering properly. The signal of the day fired, and then I also put the 0 DTE trades in, and then my own personal trade is going in right now. Right. Goonie trades, upload file. All right, it's all in. It's all in. It's all in. What is today? January. What is today's date? January the 8th. 0 DTEs. All right, we are moving today. We are moving. We are moving. Everything is in there. If you're in the Discord, all is loaded. Cool. Any questions? Any questions, comments, concerns? We already went over the Elon Musk story of being attacked by media. We already went over the Bitcoin ETF and basically the ETF pricing wars that are going on. You guys over the weekend did send in some things to react to, so I'm more than happy to do that. And the only other major story I want to go over with you this weekend that I find to be so particularly hilarious, Apple's recovering. Not by much, team. Come on, don't get me that excited. Like it's coming back, but it's still pretty bad. Look at this. The cloud went red. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th day below the 48 EMA. There is an upside gap fill to 192. It might just be going up to the cloud and getting rejected. So it's a green day, but this is a pretty far fall. In fact, there's I don't know if this is a real-time update. What's the market cap? 2.85 trillion. And then what's Microsoft? They might have actually flip-flopped. 2.75. No. Okay. So Microsoft's still in the number 2 position, but it was getting close for Microsoft actually becoming the number 1 company in the U.S. stock market. Getting close. Gold just broke out. Breaking down. Gold breaking down. So actually it might be bouncing off of this. Look at saved itself at the 48 EMA, saved itself at the 48 EMA. So I would like to officially put gold right now onto your bounce watch list. See if it can bounce right off of this and start to revert, just continuation of higher low, higher low, higher low. So I'm looking at gold on the futures market. So officially want to put that on your radar. Your radar. How's AMC looking? Like shit. Hit an all-time low on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it appears that it's going for another all-time low today. Color me surprised. Color me surprised. The SPY maybe reversing a little bit. Maybe reversing a little bit. Yeah, Grayscale really overpricing itself 1.5% when we have Bitwise coming in at 0.24. Grayscale. What is this one? This is part of the Bill Ackman story, which is just absolutely hilarious. What do we have here? It amazes me how moderate Democrats are just now learning about the tactics of the left. Going after family members is nothing new. One of the first things these child-abusing radical leftist losers did when I started campaigning was try to get my wife fired. I'm glad Bill Ackman is becoming aware. Hopefully he puts his resources to use and fights back. I will pursue these societally important issues, including problems with how our media operates, the ideological takeover of our education system, discrimination in all forms, and free speech to the end of the earth. It is the most important battle I've ever taken on. And for investors who are concerned about my time management, other than words and ideas, the quote-unquote fuel for my new efforts comes from investment success. Not that I wasn't incredibly motivated before, but if it is possible, I'm even more motivated now. And yes, I am posting Wall on the elliptical for better time management. Dude, he needs to get onto the stair stepper. Like he shouldn't give up on cardio that easily. As soon as you start doing the elliptical over the stair stepper, it's just like, really, what are you trying to pull off? Like, try to impress people in the gym. Try to impress them. Go to the stair stepper. Take on the new challenge. What is this? Kai Cenat destroys his setup after losing a $30,000 wager on Fortnite.
What am I doing? I'm panicking.
I like the double hop. I'm going to start doing that when I lose a trade. The quality was super low, but that was hilarious. A double hop? I like it. Your move, Gary Gensler. Your move. Bitcoin is always running. Well, I guess that technically could be down. All right. Are we missing any other breaking news? AOC has a brilliant solution for the migrant crisis. Let everyone in and make them citizens immediately. It's one way to do it.
From all parts of the political spectrum, one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to immigration is the fact that we have an undocumented population. Mm-hmm. Now, you can fix that by trying to build a wall, or you can fix that by trying to document people and create a path to citizenship. Mm-hmm. And
can't argue with that logic.
We'll have folks.
There's no illegal immigrants if everyone's legal.
That our shelter system has weight and things like that. But one of the reasons that our public systems experience weight is because people don't have a documented and reliable path to work and sustain themselves, just like all of our ancestors did, and our grandparents and great grandparents from all parts of the political.
Now, hear me out. Is there a chance that maybe the legal, legitimate way to becoming a citizen is getting stymied by the fact that there are millions of illegal immigrants coming in? Like maybe that's part of the issue. Maybe if more people followed the rules, it would actually be beneficial for everyone trying to follow the rules. Where was it? Right here. Illegal immigrant encounters. So under Obama, 5 million. Under Trump, 4.75 million. Under Biden, 12 million. At current rates, we can expect over 12 million encounters in the first term of Joe Biden's presidency. That's nearly as much as the preceding 3 terms, the entire terms combined. I have a feeling that the spike in these numbers is making it more problematic for the people who are trying to do it the appropriate way. Could the current way be updated? Oh, without a doubt. I'm not saying that the way to become a U.S. citizen is perfect. In fact, I would probably argue it's far away from it. The issue is resources aren't being used in that to improve it, make it more efficient, make it more expedient, to get over like the quality people that would be great adds to our nation. Because it's focusing on this right here. That's crazy. 12 million. Can they vote? Spliff. I know what you're saying is like kind of like tongue in cheek. 12 million Democratic votes. They can't vote though, can they? So Obama had 5 million in 8 years and Trump had 4.8 in 4. That's a good... No, this is just from 2013 to 2016. This is just his final years. That was a good point though, Charlotte. I was like, oh, wow. No, like that would have shown. But 2013, 14, 15, 16, these numbers add up to the 5. So it's 4 years. And then they're saying that Biden is as in like 2 terms of Obama and Trump. No, that would have been wild. Actually, that's a good point. Good catch. That's actually... Oh, wait. There was some other thing that I saved that I wanted to show to you guys. Where was it? I saw the dude like crying. Did you guys see? I must have missed it. I must have not saved it. I usually just drop a like to save stuff to bring up to you guys. What is this one? There's some guy like a news anchor, like literally crying over January 6th on the 3-year anniversary. So it must have come out on Friday. Do you guys have that? Do you guys see that on Twitter? What's this one? Someone sent this in. I didn't watch this yet.
USA Boxing has just released their new transgender guidelines for 2024. In the name of compassion and inclusivity, USA Boxing's new guidelines will allow men who merely say they are women to compete against the women. Of course, we already know.
I don't see this being problematic at all. I don't see how this would ever lead to the world in which someone who is biologically a male absolutely eviscerates, destroys someone who's biologically a female. If you think that that could happen because of this, you're being transphobic. And I just want you to know that. You're being transphobic. Obviously, men and women are the exact same, which means that they should be able to fight in the same category. And obviously, if you just say that you're a woman, you are a woman, because that's how it works. And it has nothing to do with your bone development, your stature, your muscle development. This will probably lead to no problems whatsoever.
That in about 99% of sports, male advantage is obvious. Swimming, track and field, the list goes on. But if there's one sport where it's crucial and dire that we protect the categories on the basis of our sex, it's boxing. Not only is the unfair competition being impacted, but women's safety is being compromised. Dude, I mean, can't you just picture it now? Mike Tyson wants to identify as a woman. We all know what the outcome would be.
Imagine Mike Tyson's like, yeah, I'm a chick.
Or sexist to say it. And we've already seen this happen in the MMA.
This is so
Back in
bad.
2014, Fallon Fox fought Tamika Brins.
Is this
and to
UFC
literally no one's surprise, the match was
skull?
over in less than 45 seconds with Fox winning by a TKO, meaning Brins was, of course, knocked out. And not only was she just knocked unconscious,
broke her skull.
She fractured her skull and had to have 7 staples put in her head. Then Fox went on to tweet this afterwards, boasting in the fact that he was able to beat up 2 women and fracture one of their skulls. But my biggest concern with these new guidelines implemented by USA Boxing is now men are being glorified for beating up on women. Actually, not only are they being glorified, they're being called brave for such actions. And make no mistake, this is a slippery slope. Men are now going to be awarded prize money and titles and be deemed champions for punching women. I don't care what your political beliefs are, but if you see these new guidelines as something that is fair or just or righteous or moral by any means, you are part of the problem. Mark my words, it is going to take a woman being killed by a man in the ring before these misogynistic fools wake up. Final thought. We will not see any women identifying as men competing against the men.
Oh, of course not.
Ask yourselves why.
Well, because they wouldn't win. But in reality, I just want it on the record that I am not against this, because if it goes through, that means I finally have the chance at winning a fight, which I always thought would be like a cool thing to do. So I'm kind of here for it. I want my chance at fighting glory, and this is probably the only reasonable pathway at which I personally have. So I'm here for it. Dude, that's so bad. What did Chamath say? Oh, Chamath, what is this tech billionaire saying about crypto?
This is the most important year for Bitcoin that has ever existed. We are probably days away from a series of ETFs being approved. And so this is the moment for Bitcoin to use that old term, cross the chasm, and really see mainstream adoption, where our parents and our grandparents understand what it is, can buy it, and then do buy it. And I think that if all of this comes to pass, Bitcoin will be a part of the traditional financial lexicon by the end of 2024. So that is my most anticipated trend of the year. Is the most important.
100% agree. When it crosses that chasm, gets into the mainstream adoption, Main Street, Wall Street, I think we're going to see some serious fireworks that are more than anyone could have ever predicted. I don't always agree with Chamath on everything in life, but on this particular subject matter, I think he is spot on. What is this one?
They're printing money because they're going to end the dollar. They're going to collapse the dollar through hyperinflation and transition to a digital currency. They're printing the money. They're then sending the money over there. Little Zelensky gets to keep part of it, and he gets to buy some yachts and some big houses and all this shit. The rest of it comes back through political PACs or individual people that are in the government. Those people are taking the money, buying assets that will bridge from this monetary system to the next. Then you sell the new asset on the new currency, and you're rich in the new currency. They're printing money because
I don't know if it would exactly work out like that. I suppose there's obviously a chance, but it's in terms of the larger question of, is our government doing something super suspect with our currency? I think at this point, it's pretty like indefensible. It's pretty obvious. I don't even know how it's possibly debated that obviously our Fed and our government's up to something with our own currency. What are they attempting to do exactly? Only historians will be able to tell, but it doesn't seem like it's good. What were all these? Dude, there were so many that you guys sent in.
Hassan is going to have the most progressive take on every single topic known to man, and anybody who doesn't agree with him to the molecular level is a bigoted piece of shit. You could have trans friends, love trans people, hell, even be trans, but maybe...
Do we have any Hassan fans in here? I can't really like sling that much mud because he's a lot more bigger than I am. He's a lot more influential. He probably has a lot more money, and I think he's also taller. But with all that aside, without being better looking, without being taller, without being richer, without being more popular, and thus overall more successful, excluding those things, I think he's kind of an asshat. Like, I think he really is just like, I don't know, placating a young, liberal, progressive audience because there was like value in that because no one else was doing it. And I don't even think he believes 90% of what he says. I think he's just like, he was a guy who was in the right place at the right time. I don't think he has a particular skill set or political take or debatability that, like, if he were to restart right now, I don't think he would come close to ascending to the level that he's at. Like, in reality, he's only where he is because of his uncle, who kind of did the same thing. At one point, there wasn't a place that had like hardcore liberal takes in terms of like an independent source. And I'm referring to the Young Turks, and he got to start there. I don't think he could do it independently. I don't think he necessarily has like the skill set or the intellect to do it. And I don't even think he believes what he says. I think he's just doing it because he's like taking on that role.
You just have a few questions about trans women playing sports with cis women. You are a transphobic piece of shit, and you should be sent to the gulag.
Even if trans women were completely dominating certain fields of sport, the only reason why you would consider that to be completely inappropriate and unnatural is if you think trans women are unnatural. And that's it. And that is where transphobia comes from. Transphobia.
During the Kyle Rittenhouse case, it was 100% impossible for it to be self-defense no matter what you saw in the video, because Republicans are bloodthirsty animals and they just want to get the legal kill.
Imagine risking your life for someone else's property. I mean, he wasn't even like technically risking his life. He was trying to get a legal kill. Like, that's what he was trying to do, and he got it. The greatest thing that could have happened to internet conservatives is this, because...
Didn't he kill a pedophile? Like, does anyone really care if a pedophile gets killed? Here's the one thing I noticed being old: a reset by whatever method won't matter. Losers still lose, winners still win, and mediocre fools like me still tread water. It's a pretty mature take.
This is their fantasy. This is like the psychopathic, bloodthirsty fantasies that they've all had, okay?
Very healthy way at looking at half of the population. I guarantee, just because I said that, Hassan's fans think I'm some self-hating coon out here tap dancing for the white man. Just because I watched the video and I'm like, yeah, I mean, he was running away. Probably shouldn't have been there, but he was running away. They assume I hate black people, love all cops, love police shootings, all that. And it's Hassan and people like him that perpetuate this all or nothing mentality mentality. Oh, if you say this one thing, these are all your thoughts. If you believe this one thing, you're a part of this much larger hateful group. It's just divisive nonsense, and the only thing it does is divide us even more as a country, especially when you're saying things like all Republicans are bloodthirsty animals that just want to get the legal kill. What is that actually doing to help anything? Especially when you're the one with the very public bloodthirsty history.
There's a study where it says that, you know, more cops actually die from suicide, I don't know, than gunfire and on the line of duty deaths.
What are you getting at?
Nothing. I'm just saying, you know, let's get those numbers up, baby.
These people are insane. They want you to ignore and dispute any sort of evidence that doesn't align with their philosophical beliefs. That's what people in cults do. This is not healthy. Please stop. Please stop. And of course,
Dude, I like this guy. Who is this guy? Let's give him a shout out. He's probably bigger than me too. A small YouTuber who compares him to... What's his name? I want to give this guy a follow. Kamal. Well, that doesn't seem like him. Where can we find this dude? I'm looking on Kamal on YouTube. Where's the link? Dude, why would you cut his clip and then not link his shit? That's a little messed up. Kamal on YouTube. Maybe I could search no, that's not right. I just want to find it so I can sub and then also give him an actual shout out, unlike Drama Alert. You just had it. Oh, I missed it? I'm the one who messed it up? I missed the H? I literally copied and pasted it. This one? There we go. Yeah. Here. I'll drop it in chat for you guys. Give him a little bit. There. I'm dropping the chat. The worst political streamer. Dude, he gets some views. 125,000, 41,000, 113,000. He gets views. Good for him, man. I like him. I like him. What did Vivek say on January 6th?
So let me ask you about something that you said at the debate last week. You used the phrase inside job to describe what happened on January 6th. The next day, Capitol rioter Alan Hostetter highlighted your comments at his sentencing. He is going to prison for 11 years. Hostetter threatened members of Congress. He brought a hatchet, knives, pepper spray, stun batons, tactical gear to the U.S. Capitol. Are you concerned that a convicted felon like that is now promoting your comments in court?
So here's my concern, Abby, and I want to tell you guys where I'm at. If you had told me, it's close to 3 years ago that January 6, 2021 happened. If you had told me 3 years ago, back when I was a biotech CEO, not steeped in this world, I was just consuming passive media, but was focused on my world of developing medicines. If you had told me that January 6 was in any way an inside job, the subject of government entrapment, I would have told you that was crazy talk. Fringe conspiracy theory nonsense.
Crazy talk.
I can tell you now, having gone somewhat deep in this, it's not. I mean, the reality is this. We do have a government, first of all, we have to acknowledge, that has lied to us systematically over the last several years about the origin of COVID-19, about the Hunter Biden laptop that we were told was false by 51 CIA experts and otherwise before we now know that it was true. You can go straight down the list, the Trump-Russia disinformation collusion hoax, all of it. Now we come to January 6th. The reality is we know that there were federal law enforcement agents in that field. We don't know how many. I think it's shameful. If I may finish this answer.
Well, let me just, I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you here because
I know what was that one guy's name that I learned? So I really don't know much about January 6th in terms of the important details. Obviously, I know what January 6th is. I know what happened. But in terms of like the conspiracies related to it, I'm just not informed. And that's exactly why we streamed the debate on Saturday. But who is that guy that like they were all referring to? Ray Epps? Ray Epps, that's his name, right? Ray Epps is like the guy who's kind of being accused of like stirring the pot, like almost like an FBI plant or something like that. Am I wrong?
That the establishment doesn't approve of this message. I know
that there were federal agents.
Be able to talk about this.
You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
You are saying there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
Yep.
There is no evidence that there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
So why, before Congress, when pressed on what the number was, they didn't say there were none? They just couldn't say how many
you're
there were.
saying that that you have not seen any evidence.
So
that
we've seen
there
multiple.
were, and so
we've seen multiple informants suggesting that they were. We know people were FBI informants who were asked.
Is there any evidence?
May I just finish this and you can come back and question me?
Let me clarify.
I know it's very uncomfortable for you.
I'm going to clarify my
question. I know this is an uncomfortable issue for many people, but we have to do the truth here.
I'm going to clarify my question because I want to make sure that you understand what I'm asking.
I understand this deeply. And I told you, I was with you 3 years ago. I'm not there now.
Where is the evidence?
Yes.
Where is the evidence that the government had a plot, an inside job,
but no, I'm not saying an inside job.
I'm not violence on January 6th?
I'm not going to let you put words in my mouth. I'm going to put my words in my mouth. And I'm going to tell you what
I
put
my words in my mouth. The government was involved
entrapment,
in planning or executing January 6th.
So I'm going to give you hard facts. And if I may, Abby, I know this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to go through this, and you can push back on it. And you can push back on that. And let's do this fairly. Why did they suppress footage of now what's been released? 200 hours of footage of shooting rubber bullets into that crowd, shooting tear gas into that crowd. You didn't see that before. You saw what the response was to that. Now you see footage coming out of actually rolling out the red carpet for Capitol Police, allowing people in,
again,
right through the front door.
The vast majority of the footage
evidence should have been released before, Abby.
Mr. Ramaswamy, the vast majority of the footage shows police officers being overrun by violent riders. That's
I'm going to give you some hard facts. So here's what entrapment is. I'm not cherry picking. If I may finish, Abby. If I may finish, Abby. I'm not cherry picking.
Examples.
To the contrary. To the contrary. You know cherry pick examples. You know cherry pick the government. The government cherry picked 12 hours of footage. When there was 200 hours of footage, the cherry picking was the government, not me. Released the whole thing. And let me just finish one thing too, because this is super important as a topic. I think this is a civil libertarian issue of our time. Gretchen Whitmer's kidnapping. I want to be really clear on this, because it's the same issue in the same FBI, same even part of the FBI. 3 people who were in an alleged plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer were acquitted at the end of trial.
Gretchen Whitmer?
Because it was entrapment. That is, government agents put them up to do something they otherwise wouldn't have done. They gave them credit cards with spending limits of up to $5,000. Encouraged them to buy munitions,
to save
plan
some
something
time.
they weren't otherwise willing to plan. So much so, and I want people at home to
no
know
one's
this,
speaking that.
CNN
It's on
viewers to know
1.25
this,
to save us all time.
One of the jurors went to those defendants and apologized afterwards.
Someone tried to kidnap her?
Apologized, seeing what the government had put a poor guy up to, who had to go to some Mexican restaurant across the street to get hot water. These people were exploited with credit cards up to $5,000, FBI agents putting them up to a kidnapping plot that we were told was true but was entrapment. Same thing with the Capitol Police, people letting them in freely. Many of those people then being charged.
Look,
the government cannot put you up to do something and then charge you for it. That's wrong.
I don't want to have
to the left,
I don't want to have to interrupt you. I really don't. But I don't want you to.
All right, that's over. We're going to come back to Bill Ackman, valuation mile. Oh, I just thought this was funny. Why printing trillions of dollars may not cause inflation. I can't even say it without laughing. Like, this is mainstream financial media, folks. CNBC posting this over a year ago. Why printing trillions of dollars may not cause inflation. I literally got more dumb just reading that title. That's mainstream financial media. And then they wonder in the world, especially within the US, of like, why are people not good at finances? Why are people not good at handling their own money? Why are people not good at understanding the economy? It's because we get stupid stuff like this. Why printing trillions of dollars may not cause inflation. That is equivalent to saying why the literal cause of something may not cause that thing. That's how you cause inflation. Is you bloat the money supply. That's the definition. And, okay. Thank you, CNBC. Really, really crushed that one. Dude, anything. We watched that. We did this. What's Vivek? All right. We'll come back to that one. Oh, I thought this was cool. I saw this one. No one sent this one in. But Bitcoin got a little bit of a shout out on Jeopardy.
Little things 1,000. A Satoshi is the smallest unit in this currency system. Cliff. What is the Japanese? Nope. What is Bitcoin?
Awkward that no one knew it back then. R.I.P. Alex Trebek. R.I.P. brother. Q's just recaptured 400, actually at 401. The SPY's looking good. I set up an alert at the intraday low just in case there's a breakdown, but the call outs on the Discord are already crushing it. NVIDIA's crushing it. New all-time high at 515. Dude, moving. Coin somehow went red on the day. Bitcoin's chilling just below 45K, got as high as like 45.2K type of a thing. Fantastic interview with Lance. Yeah, dude, Lance is the man. If you guys haven't seen that yet, I did an interview with who's widely considered to be one of the best prop traders of all time. He was, I guess, dare I say it, like an average guy like you or me, ended up making multiple millions of dollars trading. And now he's a mentor and whatnot, but he's great. He's a truly phenomenal trader. I think he had a lot of great input. So that interview is live. It's up on the channel. And feel free to check it out. He's definitely a cool dude. Cool dude. What do we have? All right, let's do some of these, and let's talk about Bill Ackman. That's too many words to read. Let's just watch it.
This apartment is 750 square feet, and I pay $4,300 a month. I'm actually moving out of the city on December 1st in a few weeks, about 40 minutes away from the city. And I am going to be living in a 1,400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2-car garage with a yard townhome for $3,000 a month.
She has a bit of an accent.
Like if you just go 40
Is
minutes
this Toronto?
Away, that's the difference. And I will say I have absolutely no regrets at all spending this much of my rent living in the city. This was the best experience of my life, and I'm so glad we did it. I love my apartment. It's stunning. I will say, I don't know, if people are planning to move to Vancouver, like definitely prepare to be a little bit stressed out financially and like having to figure that stuff out. Although
a major
this is
Canadian
the most gorgeous city I've been to lots of places. Vancouver is genuinely the most beautiful city. I love it so much.
That is crazy,
I will always be so fond of my time living here, and I'm only living 40 minutes away. I'm gonna come down here all the time, but yeah, this apartment is 750 square feet, and I pay.
I mean, obviously, everyone's getting priced out of urban areas. That's inflation, unlike whatever CNBC tells you. I give the option of $500 guaranteed, or I bet 5,000 and they can have 10 if it wins. What would you guys choose? Oh, easily 5 for 10. Let's live a little. This is Steve will do it.
I just met these beautiful ladies at the casino celebrating birthday. Here, I have a game for you guys. I can give you guys $500 right now, or I could put $5,000 on one hand, and if it wins, you get 10 grand.
Go for it. Go for the 10.
Yeah, I mean, play it.
You want 5?
Yeah.
You want to risk it? Try to
Degeneracy rules.
Yeah, go for it. I'm like,
okay. 5,000, one hand.
Dude, I hope they win. Let's go.
One hand. Teresa, let's win these ladies some money.
Ooh, not the best one. 10. All right.
Okay. Yes! Oh, flip it! Flip it! Flip it! 12. Yeah!
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's really cool. The dog's stoked. The dog knows it's now rich.
And then you bring them to the cage. Awesome.
Hell yeah, dude! This made the weekend.
That's so cool.
It's good you guys did it, right?
Yes, thank you. How are you? Good. Cashing out.
Dang. That's awesome. That's really cool. This is how grown men look talking about AMC and shit coins. No, the tree grab. Oh, no way. Parkour off the trash can. It's funny because it's true. All right. We might as well Tweet that one out to stir the pot. All right, what do we have here?
Had it with the word blessed. I've had it.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
can't
I
do
have
that.
had it up to my eyeballs.
I'm out.
A guy just delivered UPS and he handed me the box and he said, "Have a blessed day." And I just stood there with my jaw open thinking, does he not know that I don't like the word blessed? Which of course he doesn't,
Well,
but it
how
just
would he know?
irritates have a blessed day as opposed, why can't we just say have a
great
good day?
Right. Have a good day.
Who the fuck is out there blessing my day? A blessed day? What the fuck does that mean?
Right.
I've had it. I've had it up to my eyeballs with its blessed abuse, and it's rampant. I mean, the blessed thing is thrown out non-stop, and I've had it up to my eyeballs with it. I mean, I've had it.
Here I was thinking that we had serious issues such as poverty, hunger, lack of health insurance. But she brings up a good point. I think our number one issue is people saying blessed too much. I'm on her side. 100%. I think that's a bigger issue than anything else you can name. It's just that is the world's leading preeminent problem. And if you don't agree, that's your fault. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Yeah. She must sneeze a lot too. Have a blessed day. Bless up. Bless her heart. Market's moving. What do we have? All right, we have two more on this, and we're going to talk about Bill Ackman. Dude, dear white people. I love me dear white people videos because I'm a white person. For those of you who don't see color, I'm white.
Dear white people, I don't know which one of y'all need to hear this shit, but I fucking love y'all. And I want y'all to know, even though I can't speak for every black person, I know every white person isn't racist. And I want y'all to know, once again, every black person don't hate every white person. Can't speak for everybody, I only can speak for myself. And I'll be honored if you'll be my friend. So if you'll be my friend, hit that plus button and let's make change. Because I'm gonna make a difference.
Seems like a pretty basic dude, honestly. I thought that was going to go in the completely opposite direction. A dog in Pennsylvania ate over $4,000 in cash, but his owners were able to recover $3.5K after digging through his shit. Do you think it was worth it? Oh, that's a fair question. If you had a beloved canine who ate $4,000 of your hard-earned money, would you go through their fecal matter to retrieve an unknown amount? In this particular example, it was a pretty sizable percentage, but would you risk it? Would you risk it? I feel like I would, but what I would do is I would just at a distance spray it with water. Like I would stand a safe 6 feet away, obviously classic Rona rules, and I would just spray a lot of water on it to get the feces away. I feel like there's a tactical way you could do it where it wouldn't be like that disgusting. Is it usable? I think as long as there's 51% of the bill. I think in the US, the way our currency works, as long as you have 51% of the bill is still legal tender, but you might want to fact check me on that one. Also, why would the dog just, he looks guilty. The dog looks like he knew what he did. He looks like he know what's he knew he broke the rules. He knew he was a bad dog. He knew he was a bad dog. All right. Well, Mark is just moving today. Talk about cooking. SPY up, Q's up, Nvidia up. Cooking. I wouldn't wash it out and put it through Walmart self-checkout. You wouldn't wash it out. You just put it in the Walmart self-checkout. Some people just want to see the world burn. All right. Now, if I switch this over I do have this whole other story, but I don't know how to get it all. Maybe I just need to do it piecewise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. 5, 6, 7. All right, I think I got all pieces of this story. Like I said this morning, I had too many Chrome pages open that I had to go a whole nother one. Too many tabs. I had to go to a whole new page. Team, listen up. By far, one of the most interesting stories I've read in a while have been playing out arguably over the past couple of weeks, but it kind of went stratospheric over the past weekend. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to Bill Ackman, the Wall Street titan, the multi-billionaire. And you've probably heard his name recently because he's had some pretty, I would say, based, reasonable takes when it comes to the president of the University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, and MIT. Remember how those presidents went in front of Congress and they're all like, hey, we're not really sure we can condone the calling of genocide of Jewish people. And the world was kind of like, wait, why can't you say that's bad? And they kind of go, well, we don't know. And then, well, obviously a lot of those schools, these places of higher education, they have large endowments. They are intimately intertwined with Wall Street. And Bill Ackman was one of the many Wall Street people who were like, hey, what? And it kind of got crazy. And I think one of the best things to kind of summarize the whole story of at least where it is right now is exactly this meme. So Bill Ackman kind of took out the Penn president. You had Liz McGill stepping down. Harvard president, that was gay. She ended up stepping down. Literally everyone at MIT and Business Insider. So the MIT one and the Business Insider part that's what's playing out right now. And like I said, it's a truly, truly fascinating story. So I want to give you the details of it, or at least the important details, but I implore you to look into it yourself because it is wild. And the TLDR is that Bill Ackman is single-handedly, seemingly going to take down both Business Insider and MIT. It's truly crazy. So what you need to know to really kick this off is Neri Oxman. Neri Oxman is the wife of Bill Ackman. She has her PhD from MIT in some big brainiac thing related to like 3D modeling. She passed her PhD, the doctoral thesis and all that back in 2010. And since then, she's been kind of intertwined with MIT and continuing the work that she does. But she's already been on the Lex Fridman podcast. She herself within her domain is a big hitter. She's not a nobody by any means. But anyway, what you need to know is pretty much this. I think Bill Ackman summed it up well, but this is now where we see Bill. Bill before hit piece on wife, Bill after hit piece on wife. And he has gone completely barbaric. If you've seen the show Billions, one of my favorite lines in it is, what's the point of having FU money without saying FU? Well, that's what Bill has decided to do with not only his financial resources, but just his overall resources, his following, the value of his word, his actual money, his connections. He has gone completely barbaric. And it all happened because Business Insider, and I'm going to get into some really interesting details related to that in just 1 second, decided to come after Neri, obviously his wife. So this is just a classic tale of a dude defending his wife. It just so happens that the dude defending his wife is a multi-billionaire who is incredibly influential. And now we're finding out very, very petty as well. Like he just will not stop. And I love him for it. Imagine that you were formerly a professor at a university and you are an entrepreneur now. One day, a company that you have no affiliation with other than its CEO is your husband gets an email from a reporter from Business Insider, which says that they have found 5 examples of plagiarism in your 2010 dissertation. Obviously, this is all relating to him. He is the husband who is the CEO. Obviously, she was at MIT. Now she's an entrepreneur. And they were talking about her doctoral thesis back from in 2010. The communication person brings this to your attention and lets you know that you are being given till 12 p.m. to respond. You are concerned about these allegations because even being accused of plagiarism can destroy your career and life, which depend entirely on the intellectual property and your reputation. In the university context, plagiarism allegations are adjudicated by administrative boards in a process that takes months. So basically, it's kind of in the world now, like similar to current like society, where if you just call someone a racist, it doesn't matter like the facts of anything. If you're just like, someone says it, the rest of the world's like, oh my God. We've seen that with racial issues, many issues, especially within the US. It's the same world, in the same vibe in the world of academia. If you're accused of plagiarism, the kangaroo court just kind of assumes that it's accurate without even the proper research on it. Here, a business publication has determined that you are a plagiarist and has given you only a few hours to respond before they tell the entire world that you are a plagiarist. So you have no choice to respond as quickly as you can with whatever documents you can get your hands on. After a few hours of review, you determine that it appears that in a 4-paragraph of your 330-page dissertation, you cited the author and the source correctly, but you omitted 8 quotation marks. Just to add a little bit of context here, like what actually happened, Business Insider, who they're basically cosplaying as real journalists, reached out to really the PR representative for Bill Ackman and said, hey, we think that your wife is a plagiarist. But what's crazy about this is the email with all the information in it was just below 7,000 words, and they gave them an hour and a half, 90 minutes to respond before the article went live. That's called a hit piece. Are you kidding me? You can't research something for days, weeks, months, have a massive email of some serious accusations and be like, you know what? We're giving you 90 minutes to respond before we potentially blow up her life. That's what Business Insider just did. It's one of the most disgusting, reprehensible things like you're going to see in journalism. And unfortunately, especially within the US, that type of a thing, that type of like BS journalism is happening more and more often, more and more frequently. So the fact that we finally have someone with considerable resources, considerable influence, and considerable power, and like, I guess really the tenacity to fight it, hopefully something can actually change here, because this journalist, this publication, in my opinion, deserves to be sued to kingdom come. And really, at a minimum, I myself actually deleted my Business Insider account because of this, because this isn't the first time that they've done it. I'm actually going to show you the second account in just 1 second. In the other instance, it appears that you paraphrased the author correctly, but you failed to cite him. You featured the author in multiple other places in your dissertation, and you cited him 8 other times, but somehow you missed this one. Business Insider then runs the story with the headline, John Doe's celebrity academic wife Jane Doe dissertation is marred with plagiarism. You immediately respond to the story with a post on X in which you acknowledge the missing quotation mark for the 4 paragraphs and the missing attribution for the sentence, and you apologize for your mistake. Business Insider immediately runs another story entitled, Jane Doe admits to plagiarizing in her doctoral dissertation after Business Insider report. Are you kidding me? She missed quotes, and then she missed one instance of citing the person who's already cited multiple times in the publication. Or what? This is, so when they just say, oh, it's plagiarism, that is coming with the tune of like, oh, they literally stole someone else's work and did not give them credit. She didn't have proper quotations and missed one citation of a person who was already cited multiple times in the overall work. That is lunacy. This immediately becomes global news because your husband is a high-profile person and you are one of the most acclaimed designers in the world with recent retrospectives. The next day at 5:19, this is where it gets crazy. The next day at 5:19 p.m. on Friday night, the same reporter sends an email to your husband's communication person, which says the Business Insider has identified 28 additional plagiarism allegations identified from a quote-unquote thorough review of your published work. The email is 12 pages long and has 6,961 words. The first 15 examples identified as plagiarism are all from Wikipedia entries for definitions of words and terms that you used in your dissertation, which include weaving, computer graphics, optimization, heat flux, sustainable design, computer-aided design, and other similar terms. You are not even sure whether or not this is plagiarism. You honestly don't know, as you have never seen Wikipedia cited as a source. This is actually, in the world of academia, a commonly debated thing of like, if you're using it for definitions, is Wikipedia public domain? And yet you have Business Insider saying, nope, this is clearly plagiarism. They're full of it. The other examples are deemed plagiarism, and including the remaining 13 examples by Business Insider included multiple excerpts of text from software manuals, from Rhino 3D modeling software, from hardware manufacturer websites, including, and it just goes on and on of like, really, for her to, like, this is a high-end brainiac scientific thing. So she's getting definitions. Like, what's going on here? I don't get it. There is no time to run down these references, let alone read the almost 7,000 word email. Many of the manuals are no longer available, and the substantial number of references the reporter has given you do not appear to be correct. In fact, until this moment, when you were writing this post, you never had a chance to read the email in its entirety. At 6:51 p.m., 1 hour and 32 minutes from the timestamp of the reporter's email, Business Insider publishes a story entitled "Academic Celebrity Jane Doe Plagiarized from Wikipedia, Scholars, a Textbook, and Other Sources Without Any Attribution." This becomes the number one story in the world, with global headliners, effectively all of which say Bill Ackman's wife, Jane Doe, admits to plagiarism. No one reads any further than the headlines. Who reads articles these days anyway? It is now the number one trending item on X with over 35,000 posts versus number two, which is the Princess of Wales with 3,000. It was the main news over the weekend. Does this seem like journalism to you? Definitely not. Does this seem like a fair way to determine whether a professor plagiarized in her dissertation 15 years ago? Obviously not, because she didn't plagiarize. Does this seem like a fair way to destroy the reputation of one of the most talented and famous designer scientists in the world, even if she is married to a billionaire? So Bill Ackman kind of explaining the whole story, and there's a lot more to it. I just thought this was somewhat of a succinct breakdown, but I implore you to go to his Twitter page, because this guy, his fingers must be on fire, because he is firing off a tweet every 30 seconds, and it seems as if he's really, really picking a bone with Business Insider, and then it continues to get a little bit more weird from there. Last night, no one at MIT had a good night's sleep. Yesterday evening, shortly after I posted that we were launching a plagiarism review of all current MIT faculty. So he took this and said, you know what? I think something's still going on with MIT, because remember, the University of Pennsylvania president stepped down, the Harvard president stepped down. The last one he wanted to step down was MIT. So he, in his mind, was already connecting it with MIT. He's like, you know what? If you're going to accuse my wife of plagiarism, every single person associated with MIT, I'm going to look into them for plagiarism. And if you dive down this rabbit hole quite a bit, you're going to realize that has a lot of ties to basically funding. It's a big money thing. President Kornbluth, member of MIT's administration and its board, I am sure that an audible collective gasp could be heard around the campus. Side point here, Martin Shkreli, you guys know him as like the farmer bro. He actually was like, hey, actually, I have some AI that could look into this pretty quickly. So right now, everyone at MIT was like, uh-oh, what's going on? Because most likely they're going to find a lot more legitimate plagiarism there than they found with Neary, Bill Ackman's wife. So that's kind of where the meme come from of like University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, literally everyone at MIT. This is the literally everyone at MIT. And then now it's turning up even more on Business Insider. We have new information that strongly suggests that Business Insider sources is at MIT. So they found some sort of direct connection of like basically this witch hunt. And then if you guys remember the story that kind of played out a year or two ago, Dave Portnoy found out about all of this. So Dave Portnoy, Business Insider, they did multiple hit pieces on him that were exactly that, hit pieces. There was no actual evidence, and yet they tried to burn down a company and some dude's life. And so before we get to Dave Portnoy, Ben Mullen, he was sharing the post from Alex Springer, which is the parent company of Business Insider. BI parent Alex Springer says it's going to take a quote-unquote couple of days to review the processes, which BA's stories related to Neary Oxman, an academic, and Bill Ackman's wife, even though the facts of the reports have not been disputed. I find it particularly comedic that they're taking days, multiple days, to review their process of how a story went to light, and yet they only gave Neary, 90 minutes to defend herself against plagiarism accusation from 15 years ago. You have to appreciate the comedy in that. You have to. And then obviously Dave Portnoy of Buy-Store Sports, figured out what's going on. While you're at it, can you find out why there were two totally made up hit pieces written about me that both dropped on the morning of Penn earnings call? I'm sure it's just a coincidence. If you ask me, where's this going? I think this is going to be the first, maybe a couple dominoes in. I think we're a couple dominoes into Business Insider officially blowing up, officially going bankrupt, officially being Thanos snapped off the face of this planet. I really, really do. I think in the past, certain things have happened. I think it got worse with Portnoy. Now Portnoy's back in the picture, and now things are Bill Ackman is just throwing gasoline on the fire here. He's a dude with clearly the resources and now the reason to really, really take down Business Insider, and I think it's going to happen. So I'm going to be watching the story, but I do want to leave you with one particular thought, of how serious this is or how serious this isn't. They're just you might think that they're just accusing Neary of something. It might not be plagiarism. Now, I want to be honest here. This is where I put on my tinfoil hat. What I think is really going to get Business Insider caught, I think eventually this is going to catch the eye of some sort of regulation body, and they're going to start looking into the active trades of employees at Business Insider. And this is really referring back to Dave Portnoy, but there's rumors and murmurs of it happening on a more widespread scale. And the assumption, the accusation of which, regulators would have to find the proof of it. The accusation is that they are trading. They are making trades before the articles go out. So for example, Penn owned Barstool at that time. Before the hit piece came out, there was an abnormal spike in put options against Penn. And it's kind of one of these things where were people doing this before the earnings because of the earnings, or was it because of the article, or was that the perfect way to cover it up? And that's something that should be looked into. And beyond Penn, are they doing it time and time again? So I think that's the real serious legal thing that could get Business Insider caught. And you might be thinking, wow, Matt, that sounds like a little bit conspiratorial. No way, no how. There's no way there's someone that's that criminal, that immoral. Let me remind you of something. Henry Blodgett, he right here, he is the CEO of Business Insider. Very important person at Business Insider. He's the CEO. Well, guess what? In 2003, Blodgett was charged with civil securities fraud by the U.S. SEC and settled the charges with a payment of $4 million without admitting or denying the allegations and their underlying facts and findings. He was permanently barred from the securities industry and censured by the SEC. The charges arose from actions Blodgett took in 1999 to 2001 while at Merrill Lynch, which included issuing materially misleading research reports on internet companies and making exaggerated or unwarranted claims about their customers. So a dude who is barred from the SEC, and it was one of these things, it was civil securities fraud. He didn't say he was guilty, but he also didn't say he wasn't, and now he's permanently barred. So he is kind of known to make exaggerated or unwarranted claims, and now he's the CEO of Business Insider, which is very obviously making exaggerated and unwarranted claims. Can anyone else see the connections that's going on here? I feel like we're watching a circus right now. It's absolutely crazy. And on the current fight that Bill Ackman's on, I truly, truly hope he is successful. Because Business Insider, this is not journalism. This is some underhanded gotcha type of thing in an effort to push some sort of political or social, pathway forward. And it's BS. This is not journalism. This is not how the world should run. And I hope, fingers crossed, that this is going to be the start of the end of Business Insider, because it is a publication that without a doubt deserves to die. So that's the big Bill Ackman story from over the weekend. Absolutely crazy. I implore all of you, if you have a Business Insider membership subscription, cancel it. I canceled mine over the weekend because you can't do that. That's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. The part many of the pundits miss out about the Harvard thing is Harvard's own cancel culture and their own rules against them. Ivy League communism eating itself. I mean, That's 100% spot on. And I think the way we culturally think of higher education right now, I think it's dying. I mean, if you fast forward 1 or 2 decades, I think that the way we think of college, universities, I think it's done. I think it's absolutely done. It's just people are realizing that it's just not worth it. They don't have the prestige. It's a clown show. They don't have the prestige. They don't give you the academic education. It's a joke. It is absolutely a joke. What you pay for and what you get are very, very far apart. And I think legitimately people are just going to stop going. Like, it's simply not worth it. They're absolute clown shows. Higher education has just dramatically changed, even over the past couple of years, but definitely over the past couple of decades. And I don't think it's something that really has much staying power anymore. I don't. Unless it's STEM, you're wasting your money. And it also depends on what, like, STEM's a big field. It depends where you are. Like, basically, you have to look at, most people take out loans to go to school. You have to look at your loans. You have to look at the average income of the people with the degree that you're going after. You have to make sure that it makes some sort of like financial sense. Like, I think right now there's a big pressure on young kids that they just like feel like they have to go to college. Why? College isn't for everyone. I can't say that like all degrees are completely useless, but there's a lot of degrees that are completely useless. Let's check in on the options market. It's pretty strong. Remember, this is spot gamma. It's by far the best options data platform out there. And I know that there's other popular ones, and I don't necessarily want to talk smack on other ones, but I'm telling you, after using every single options platform out there, spot gamma is by far the most accurate, the best, the most transparent. If you want real-time options data, I'm telling you this, there is no other platform out there that has higher quality data that I know of. So any of the ones I've used in the past, folks, I'm comparing it directly to Spot Gamma. Spot Gamma is better. There's a free 2-week trial. It's, I think, pinned to the top of chatter in the description. All right, what other breaking news are we looking at, team? Supreme Court rejects appeal by Elon Musk on disclosing federal surveillance. Wait, what? Huh? Supreme Court rejects appeal by Elon Musk's ex on disclosing federal surveillance. The Supreme Court declined to take appeal by Elon Musk's ex company challenging a ban on the company disclosing federal surveillance of Americans and foreign nationals using the service. X, formerly known as Twitter, had argued that the federal government's prohibition on the company disclosing the receipt of national security-related surveillance of users was unconstitutional. Musk also heads Tesla and SpaceX. Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith last year a search warrant for the Twitter account for former President Donald Trump as part of Smith's criminal investigation of election interference. So the Supreme Court is saying, no. We're not allowed to know how they're surveilling us or how they were surveilling us through Twitter. The Supreme Court on Monday refused to hear an appeal by the social media giant X challenging a ban on the companies disclosing federal surveillance of Americans and foreign nationals using the service. The Supreme Court did not explain why it declined to take X's appeal, nor did it reveal which or how many justices might have wanted to take the case. The decision leaves in place a ruling by the 9th U.S. Circuit of Court of Appeals, which held the restrictions of free speech related to receiving requests for surveillance related to national security concerns is not subject to certain requirements to mandate judicial review. That's ridiculous. I don't think people really appreciate how bad the previous version of Twitter was and how many just reprehensible, immoral things were going on. And then yet people still be like, I don't like Elon because he said things that hurt my feelings. I think he's kind of doing bigger, more important things than worrying about. I love that they use this picture. Can Biden convince Americans his brand of populism is better than Trump's? Probably not, because he has the personality of a fucking wet noodle. If the Democrats legitimately want to beat Trump, they have to put up someone else. Looking like Wednesday, what is this one? Looking like Wednesday now for Bitcoin ETF decision expected to be approved. Kate Rooney, CNBC. So that is the 10th. Little bit of breaking news here. Looking like Wednesday, January 10th now for Bitcoin ETF decision expected to be approved. Well, we have a date. We have an expectation. Let's see if it plays out. Elon Musk says the Biden administration is actively aiding and abetting illegal immigration because they are viewed as future voters. Probably. Whoa. Former SEC chair says the spot Bitcoin ETF approval is inevitable. There's nothing left to decide.
Bitcoin, is the SEC going to sign off on a Bitcoin ETF, you think?
I think approval is inevitable. And
Bitcoin ETF?
And I think there's
inevitable.
Nothing left to decide.
Nothing left to survive.
I credit the SEC for where they are.
Nothing to decide.
Where are we? We're comfortable with the disclosure. Joe just went through the cost of investing in a Bitcoin ETF. People need to know what the cost of doing it is. They need to know, about the underlying Bitcoin market. Is the Bitcoin underlying trading market something that is what I would say is robust enough, efficacious enough, where you can rely on it? It is much better today than it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, there was wash sales, there was laddering, there was all sorts of things that you wouldn't want to make available to the general public because of that risk. And the last thing, I think this is missed, is the technology to actually provide the product, the custodying, the create, the redeem. This is a big step, not just for Bitcoin, but for finance generally. If you can digitize, tokenize underlying assets and trade that way, that's a potential significant change across finance, not just in the crypto space.
But you think Bitcoin ETF approval is coming and imminent?
Yeah, I do. I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
Imminent, folks.
Your opinion matters.
Sounds like he's orange pilled. I like it.
I don't like what's happened. And then when you abuse DEI, then you set back the movement, and we still know where we need to be. S&P CEOs, board members, and people of color that represent. We've got miles to go, but this casts a pall the way that it was administered. I mean, we can't ignore that we need to have a lot more work to do.
Well, I think that's where you have to start, Joe. We have miles to go. But let me recognize we have miles to go. We still have problems. Anybody who says that they don't see bias in society doesn't have their eyes.
Old boy network.
Another pretty base take.
Absolutely. I've seen it in every organization I've been. Now, lesser and more people making improvements. But let me give the American people some credit here. If you travel the world, there's no country that is trying to assimilate, respect, provide for more different cultures, religions, and the like than the United States.
Feels like they were getting into a little bit of a different subject there, but hey, former SEC member saying Bitcoin ETF imminent. Sounds like we are going to get, ideally, the approval statement this Wednesday, January 10th. Buckle up. Please read Nick's super sticker from Dom. Shout out, Dom. Shout out to Dom's wife. I love you very much. I'm not saying that's from me. I'm saying that's from Dom, just in case your wife is still listening. I think I missed that a bit ago, about 20. My apologies. Use your prop account firms to start only ads. Could do that. Yo, man, NVIDIA levels. Thank you. I mean, it's a new high, so that it's just open range breakout. Yeah, you could do some fib extensions, but when you're at a new high, it's kind of just white knuckling.
Are they going to?
It's kind of just. SEC posts caution about investing in crypto assets. Getting ready for spot. A thread. Some things to keep in mind if you're considering investing in crypto. Yo, fuck Gary Gensler. This guy's such a clown. BlackRock woke up today and was like, this is gangs in New York, right? They're ready to fight. Everyone's just lowering it, lowering it, lowering it, lowering it. Anyone where I can find this Taylor asking for a friend. Jesus. NVIDIA. Moving. SPY looking good. I mean, today's the day of the bulls. I don't see how you could possibly be bearish. Folks, I appreciate you joining me today. We're already 7 minutes over, but I appreciate all the good vibes. You guys rock. What a way to kick off the week. About 4K in the prop accounts. And then my other account is currently up 250. Good day. I'm selling some premium as well. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the good vibes. Thank you. We're going to be posting a lot of content later on today. We're going to be streaming again tomorrow morning. Later this week, things are going to get even more hectic. Every single day of this week, there's a lot going on. So it should be a big week. Should be a fun week. Should be a volatile week. Fingers crossed, it is a very profitable week. Now, if you want to trade with the rest of the Goonie community, you can do so for free. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video, mattcors.locals.com. Become a supporter for free. That's the premium membership, a supporter, by using the code 2024. You put that in, you're a supporter for free, and that's what will give you access to not only all the premium posts, but obviously also the Discord. So check it out. If you have any issues, reach out to me, media@matthewkors.com, DM me on Instagram, DM me on Twitter. If you have any tech issues, reach out to me, and I will help you get that figured out ASAP. But once again, thanks for all the good vibes. Thank you for a great start to the week. Hopefully it gets even better with the remaining days of the week. Thank you. Peace out. Love you all. Bye.